All right, hitting go live right now.
Rolling.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to episode 10 of C4S Villains. I am your host, JB, and I am here, as always, with my co-host, Legendary Vash. And we are here with two very, very special guests, the hosts of the Worst Generation podcast, Sensei LeGlove and GB. Thank you guys so much for joining us today.
What's up, gang? How y'all feeling, man? We out here.
Good.
We chilling, bro. How y'all doing, Vash? What's cracking, bro?
I'm glad to be here. I just finished.
Everybody living, glad to be out here,
brother.
I just finished the Zack Snyder, Falcon the Winter Soldier earlier this morning. So
Did you?
That's
fresh in your dome.
It's fresh, and it's just so many thoughts just flowing in and everything. But always happy to be here with James every week and everything. So, and very glad to have you guys as well, because I know GB was excited because I saw that he is excited to join a non-anime podcast.
Yeah, man. GB's trying to.
This is my first time, being on a non-anime podcast. I'm geeked to be out here. Normally, I only talk on anime and manga, and thanks JB for giving me this opportunity to preach the gospel or other things. And we've been on tour to produce the world tour right now is what I've been calling it, and it's just been lit. I'm glad to be getting around.
Yeah, really happy to have you guys here. Wanted to have you here to talk about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, because this is going to be a very, very special series. So coming off of the heels of WandaVision, I would just to get your general thoughts, your general overall thoughts on the entire series of WandaVision. So GB, I'd actually like to start with you. What were your thoughts on WandaVision?
I really liked WandaVision. It's the first Marvel project that I think I enjoyed start to finish. I didn't have any parts of it where I felt like, oh, I'm not liking this. It felt refreshing to me. The secretary is into TV shows and stuff, so it was really fun for me to look at WandaVision and try to pinpoint which TV show this kind of relates to and what it is I'm looking at. And then I really enjoyed their take on kind of mental instability and how those things manifested. So WandaVision for me was a great project all the way through, and I like how they tied in, other elements of the universe. I just think all around, I just love what Marvel's doing as a whole, how they're tying just the TV series into the movies, and I want to see it keep going. I love WandaVision.
Yeah,
and
same.
I also love the memes that have come from it, the Vishon and LaWanda memes that they keep surfacing.
Those have been hilarious, can't lie.
Those have been funny to me too.
Yeah, they've been so funny. Sensei?
Same. I think it started off kind of, I don't want to say slow, but it started off kind of for me, just because I was expecting a little bit more, but I ended up appreciating the slow burn in the beginning. The slow part being the first two episodes, which they gave to us at one time, so it wasn't really that bad. It probably worse for somebody watching it on this is the first episode, this is the second episode basis, versus when the day it comes out, you got two episodes off the bat. So it's kind of like a quick binge. So I appreciate them for doing that. As far as the story, I like their take on House of M mixed with a couple other stories. I'm very interested to see where they go with this. Are we talking spoilers? No spoilers?
Yeah, you can. Go ahead.
I'm very interested to see where they go with the whole Agatha story. Harkness story. Are they gonna include the I forgot the name, the something 7? I forgot the name. Something 7. With her son and his gang of motherfuckers, they were Fantastic Four villains.
I can't remember right now.
But you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, are they gonna introduce those people as some type of villains later on? Are they gonna come back to save Agatha? Is she gonna play a big role in the Doctor Strange movie, which is supposed to be a horror movie? And on the aspect of that being a horror movie, I loved their mix of not only just sitcoms, but kind of that introduction into what that horror dark feel could be like for Marvel. because we hadn't really seen that outside of maybe a Hulk type of joint, but even then it wasn't as like, you know what I'm saying, thrilling, I guess, or like heart pumping, heart racing, more so than it was action packed. So, but other than that, I think the characters were done well. I loved all of the references that they had to like not only just the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but also externally, like joking about her fucking accent when that was like a whole big thing. Like, you know what I mean? That was a whole thing outside of just the movies. Motherfuckers was always constantly talking about like this bitch need to fix her accent, or like how she constantly changing accents. Like they need to teach her how to act, like all type of shit like that. So for them to constantly make jokes at that, the whole Pietro shit, while I don't really know if they really going for just the full gag or if it's actually gonna mean more things later on, that was very refreshing. It was just cool, man. It was cool all around. It did inspire a whole bunch of memes, a whole bunch of niggas doing cosplays. I love cosplays, so shit. As soon as I got a Vishon cosplay, that shit was funny as hell. It was dope, bro. I fucked with it. I give it a solid 8.59.
Yeah, it's a great series, man. Like, if you had to pick a favorite moment, like, could you pick one?
For me, it was Agatha all along, and it's between that and like when Vision was like going out and seeing people tweak.
Yeah, that was so messed up.
Yeah.
GB?
I think Agatha All Alone was funny as hell to me. And then seeing them tweak was funny, but it wasn't a favorite moment to me.
It wasn't funny. It was like damn, like it was one of them. I wasn't saying it was funny.
I think that was a revelation moment for me. Like, oh, like her powers really got limits though. It ain't all like I knew people was like still kind of waking their heads, but then you start seeing other consequences of where her powers stretched. Because then you get out, it's kind of like internet. When you don't have enough bandwidth, you get out to the outskirts of this town, and all of a sudden these people ain't computing, they ain't running at the same speed, like they lagging. So I thought that was interesting. That was a revelation moment. I think a funny moment for me was at the end when Wanda's walking through the crowd of people after everything's said and done, and Monica is like, it's a lot of people that's like upset with you or whatever, and Wanda basically like, fuck they gonna do about it? Like, you got a problem? How you gonna solve it?
How you gonna solve it?
How you gonna solve it? So I like that moment was funny for me. There were a lot of prize moments for me. Another big moment for me was just Monica coming of self, like in the movie, because I just love what that could mean for the universe as a whole. So, like, as that was happening, I was kind of like getting hyped up too.
Yeah, I can't wait to.
Sensei, I googled it. Was it Salem 7 you was talking about?
Yes, them niggas.
Yeah,
them niggas.
Yeah, that's gonna be interesting if they bring that back into it. But like, I love that show. I thought WandaVision was great. I gave WandaVision, like, if I had to give it a grade, like 9.5 easily.
Fair enough.
Like, they could have done more with like Hayward, but I feel like.
Sword.
He was just and Sword, but I mean, this was just laying the groundwork for future films, so it just is what it is, in my opinion. But I can't wait to see Monica in Captain Marvel 2. That's going to be dope. I can't wait to see her interaction with Carol Danvers, because she was gone the whole time her mom had cancer, right? Like, she never really came to visit, and that's just the thing that I think is the case. So I want to see them have that conversation. We're also going to get Miss Marvel in Captain Marvel 2. That's gonna be dope. So the way to just
is that gonna be her intro?
Yeah,
that's gonna be her intro, and then she gets her own movie.
I don't know if Miss Marvel is gonna get her own movie.
We talking about the Inhuman shorty, right? The stretch her arm.
Yeah, her. Yeah, her.
I could have sworn she was getting her own movie.
Or is it a series?
I'm almost positive she's getting her own movie.
I think she's getting her own series.
Maybe it's a series. Maybe it's a series.
Yeah, one of them. Yeah,
it's one of them. But I know
I can't wait
her own for sure, because I remember them talking about the direct. I think the director is like Indian or something like that, right?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I
need to fact check that, but yeah, I think it's a TV series. I'm not sure, but we'll find out. But yeah, that's gonna be her intro. Really, really excited for that. Speaking of Kamala Khan, she is essentially like one of the main characters of the Marvel Avengers game, and they just announced that Black Panther is joining that game in an expansion. So, do you guys have you guys played the game before?
I still play. I'm one of the few people that still play.
Really, you do? How do you enjoy it? Like, are
Yeah.
you actually still entertained by it after all these months and like after all the glitches and everything?
So it's it's tricky, bro. Because it's like I was playing it when it was absolutely trash,
Wow.
and I was playing it for like I recognized how bad it was, but I was playing it for the like I'm a comic book nerd. You know what I mean? Like I like the Avengers. I like that shit. I want to know the story that they're gonna tell. It is on PS4, so how bad could it be, right? But like, nah, dude, the bugs and the glitches, it was a really bad, damn near not done game. It wasn't at the level of what's that shit that just got taken, like is no longer sold by PlayStation no more.
Cyberpunk.
Yeah, it ain't Cyberpunk level, but it's like if Cyberpunk is the worst, it's like the next one under.
I was just about to ask you that if you have played both, like which one would you
I have
rank
not
it?
played Cyberpunk.
Okay, you haven't.
I
Okay.
refused. First of all, I wasn't that interested in it, and then when it dropped and it was just terrible, I'm like, oh yeah, nah, I'm never picking this game up. But
They start
It's really
showing the-
disappointing. I was real hyped for that game.
He was.
yeah, a lot of
he
people was. A lot of people was. I was not. I wasn't really. I don't know. I'm not a huge RPG guy, so like. But with this shit, like I was playing, the bugs was crazy, but I liked the story. I liked that they was introducing the characters. I like how they did the characters. Like the story was solid. It wasn't the best story ever, but it was a solid story. Like I fucked with the direction they were going. The cutscenes was smooth. The voice acting was smooth. Like the acting overall was smooth, but it was just the game was buggy and glitchy as shit. And they have updated it. Like they literally just released a PS5 update for it. So it's clean as fuck now, but it still has some little glitches, some little bugs. Like it doesn't have the major bugs like we would like if you group up with a team of people and like go to a mission, you could get stuck in the fucking loading screen and now y'all gotta all reset the game. Shit like that. Or you be in the middle of a mission and then all of y'all stats are just nullify at like 100, so you could have been at level, you know what I'm saying? You could have been at level 4,000, but now all your shit is at 100, so we doing no damage. We getting killed in one hit. Like
So
little
now,
glitches like that. And then the biggest glitch was the trophy glitches. So like it was like a glitch in the game, and I don't know if they fixed this glitch yet. And it seems like they haven't based off what I've seen so far. If you trying to trophy hunt based off like if you trying to get a trophy like for doing X amount of missions or doing something X amount of times, if you do it with a party of people, you have to be the leader for it to count. So if I gotta do 50 hive missions to get a trophy, but I do a mixture with friends and without friends, the ones I do with friends, if I'm not the leader, they didn't count.
That doesn't make any sense.
That's crazy. Like, so I'm not as big of a gamer as Sensei by any means. I used to be like a heavy gamer, and I'm trying to find my way back into games. So I picked up Call of Duty to play with the other friends from the pod, and it's so glitchy, and I find myself like mind blown sometimes that like, how did y'all drop a product that has this many glitches in it and you're okay with it? Because like how I remember video games back in the day was like you get a game and that was it. Like it didn't have glitches and stuff like that. And so now to like have this game like Call of Duty where it's like little stuff that like how is this overlooked that if I press pause, like I don't see my stats. I see the party leader stats. Like that doesn't help me. I can't do what I'm here to do, or like just it's little things. So like I really just found myself up in arms. Like, do we not care about quality anymore? Like it's the game. And then they always charging for like new packs and new DLC and everything that's coming. I'm like, y'all getting a lot of bread out of us. Like, put the quality back into the game. Like, is the game just to get money from us now? And we just supposed to deal with it as fans? I don't like that shit.
it sucks to say, but this is good that's happening because the companies will learn from this. Yes, we're losing money and they're losing money, but they will be learning that people like us will not be buying those games because we will wait for those reviews, we'll wait for those patches, and those companies, Square Enix and Cyberpunk and everything, will learn from this. And it's sad how it happened, but they will learn from these mistakes because just like anime games, they will also learn from this as well. but some studios are doing better with knowing not to put out a game. Like for example, last night the crew was talking about the game Gotham Knights. We were all excited coming out this year. And then
They got pushed back to
and then 12
2022.
hours later, it got pushed back for next year. I was like, damn, shit. But that's good. As much as I could be sad for the game that's being
Bro,
pushed
how
back
many
for another
times
year.
did fucking Cyberpunk get pushed back, bro?
No,
No,
Cyberpunk
it's
getting
not
pushed
good.
back.
But at least
I was just
We
gonna
not
say,
gonna know
like,
if it's good until that shit drop, G.
true.
We
But
just
thing is-
not.
But thing is, Cyberpunk was in time crunch, and that was during the whole pandemic, so they was fucking the first place already. At least,
just delay it again.
yeah,
Just
but
delay
Play
it
it
though.
again until the game's good. Like, it's
At least
ridiculous.
for Gotham
It
Knights,
was literally
they know.
broken. It was
Yeah.
literally a broken game.
At least from Gotham Knights, they know right now they're not good to go. So hey, let's delay for another year. They have another 6-8 months, and then who knows how many more months in 2022. So I'm happy with time like that is gonna flow, and that's good for it. But like I said, some companies are learning from this, from seeing other companies' mistakes. So it sucks that we are living through this. Like you said, like back 5-10 years ago, we didn't have to go. We have to have a whole freaking update from patches that we messed up that we never could have done. But slowly, companies are learning from this.
You know
But-
what would be interesting would be like when I first went to college, I wanted to be a game developer. Like that's what I went to art school.
Oh, me
for.
too. That's
That's
fine.
dope.
And so I ended up transferring to a regular university after maybe a year and a half. But I want to be a game developer. It'll be interesting to see how the industry responds to the way games need to be built and things like the pandemic, and if like contracts change. Because the way that contracts are kind of handled now is that like you get a certain amount of money up front, and it really puts like the studio and the developers and everyone else on kind of like a timetable. And once you go beyond that timetable, then it was pretty much a waste of you ever making this game. And I wonder if the industry is going to respond to this by like kind of changing up how they do the contracts and how payments are made and how that goes. And I wonder what effect that'll have on the developers and the people that do the animation of the characters and the voice actors. Like if they'll see, like we'll see things change for them, maybe for the negative. I would hate to see that, but I just found myself wondering about that now.
Ultimately, as far I know, I didn't really answer your question about how I feel about the Black Panther release. I didn't see the trailer, but I have been playing Avengers since the PS5 update dropped, partially because I'm a completionist. So that 50 Hive trophy that I got cheated on because of a glitch is the only trophy I need to platinum the game. So I'm trying to get that shit by just doing 50 Hives by myself.
Mad as hell.
Very mad. But since they also released new DLC, so I have a reason to play. So I guess I'm excited. I didn't really see the trailer, but I guess I'm excited. I haven't heard anything about Spider-Man, and Spider-Man was supposed to drop in the spring of this year as well.
Right.
So where the fuck is my guy? Where's my guy? Where's my guy?
Like this kind of stuff is why I don't mind waiting like 6-7 years for a GTA game, because I know it's going to be great as soon as I get it. Like I don't see the need to rush these games when you can just wait and then just give me a great game. Like this shit is bullshit.
I think it's part because of not the developers, but the Sony, like Sony and Microsoft, right? Because if they release a system that has no games, they don't sell the system. So they're pushing the developers like, yo, y'all need to fucking drop this shit because we need something to go with this game. Like with the system, we need a game to go with the system, several games to go with the system to make people buy this game. Like I can like. For the pure game, it's not the motherfuckers buying the shit because it's a fad. But like for the people who are actual Sony loyalists who get PlayStations every time a PlayStation drops, we also want to know what games are coming out. Like I'm watching the latest fucking state of play or whatever it was when they released the PlayStation. Like, oh, they dropping this when the PlayStation drop? Oh yeah, they dropping this with it. You know what I'm saying? Because ultimately, if y'all wasn't, I was gonna wait. I wasn't gonna get the game right away because it wasn't a fad for me. And I understand, you know what I'm saying? I've been doing this forever. I know that there's gonna be games. There's gonna be an opportunity for me to get the game.
Agreed.
It's not like fucking shoes where, you know what I'm saying? Where like that shit come out once and then you ain't gonna see that shit again for another 10, 15 years. That's not how this shit works. Like
That's very true.
they're gonna constantly keep making games and it's gonna constantly keep coming out. You're gonna get your opportunity to fucking
You think there'll be a little bit more back and forth? Like if I'm Microsoft, for instance, and I know that we got a Halo game that's going to be brand new, dropping in 6 years or 5 years, and we start production on it now, then I'm already giving them the specs of where we want the system to be. And I'm like, in 5 years, like have your game ready to perform on this system. So when that game comes, I got a system. Not only do I have a game that debuts, but it can
That's
be
the
like
thing.
not crossplay, but what's it, backwards compatible and all that. Like, but you gotta, it's got to be back and forth. I feel like
But that's the
part
thing.
of
I feel like
business
it
that gets
is.
fucked up is sometimes like people want to hold the cards too close to their chest, and kind of like that's when timetables and schedules get fucked up, and then you looking at it like, how we get here?
I feel like it's both, G. I feel like it's both, but it depends on the developer. Like they not telling every developer, all right, I want y'all to drop a game in 5 years with these specs. They're not doing that, but they'll do that for a third, like a first party game, like a God of War is getting that treatment. Spider-Man from Insomniac is getting that treatment. You know what I mean? Like those type of AAA game, Naughty Dog is getting that treatment. But at this, you can still see these motherfuckers will still push their game back because it be shit happening. Yeah. They want the game to be a certain way, and it's like, well, we might need to push it back some more. Well, it's like now if I'm Sony and you telling me you got to push it back, it's either you push it back and now I don't have a fucking, you know what I'm saying, great a AAA game to drop when my system drop, or I make you push that shit out. Like work overtime, nigga, or something like, you know, I feel like it go both ways.
It could.
I feel like there are definitely some people that they tell ahead of time, we dropping a system in X amount of time. I know we need a sequel to this game. Y'all got this much time to do it.
As a gamer, would you be okay with like a game void? Like say you brought PlayStation 6 or whatever, and you got 4 years, 5 years straight of
no
brand
games?
new. Oh. No, you got 4 years, 5 years straight of like brand new PlayStation 6 games, releases and all that. And then for like a year and a half, no new games drop because they prepare to drop PlayStation 7, and then you get the void or whatever. Because I think with like the rise of indie games right now, like you got all these indie games on the platform and everything to do, gamers got stuff they can do. Like I really feel like it just needs to be, they need to just evolve. I think the industry is a little bit behind.
But also at the same time,
just my feeling, but like I said, I'm back in it.
But also at the same time, like if there's like, for example, there's a PlayStation 5. I still haven't played God of War. I still have not played Batman, Arkham and everything because of PlayStation 5. I don't really care about new games because that's fine. I'm trying to catch up to the old games that happened 5-8 years ago. So I'm still trying to catch up to games that haven't been played. So at the same time, like me as a content creator as well, I like playing old games because at the same time, there's no rush to try to beat it because people that have played years of gaming have already beat it, know about the whole storyline. Me, I'm just going blind, even though this whole storyline have been out in public for the past 3 years to like God of War and everything. So at the same time, for me, it's like, hey, I'm gonna just enjoy it for what it is. And for GB, once you said PlayStation 6 and 7, that to me was like, it's like some type of Bible word because I'm like, we just got the 5, and for the PlayStation 6 to come out like in like another 10 years, like who knows if that actually what happened, but like most likely will. But it's like, damn.
Are we just talking hypotheticals?
Yeah, it was a hypothetical.
I know,
it's a hypothetical.
Like, how long was a 4 out?
For 5 years, I think 6 years.
I don't know, like 4 or 5 years, I think.
It had to be more than that, bro.
Yeah,
6 years
definitely.
max.
I feel like it was way more than that. I feel like
6 max.
I want to say 10. I'm finna do a quick Google.
Between the PS4 Pro and the PS5, man.
No, just the PS4. The first one.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm finna do a quick Google.
PlayStation 4
yeah, I'm with Chris,
no,
dude. Like you have to play Arkham
2016.
Knight. Like
November, no, 2013.
2013.
2013?
Yeah, PlayStation 4.
I'm looking at the Pro. My fault.
2013 is so 8 years. Wow, almost 8 years. Damn. 8 years. Wow.
I mean, that's good though. Like they made some really good advances with the PS5. So
for sure. So 8-year run. I think, and I don't know how long the 3 was out before the 4, but I don't think it was 8 years. So I can imagine the 5 being out for 10 years before they switch to something else.
I brought the 3 in what, 2009, 2008?
I got the 3 late. I got the 3 when I got to college, which was in 11.
Mine was a PlayStation 2. That was my first console. That was mine personally.
And I think they released the 4. Yeah, they released the 4 a couple years after I got my 3, and I was pissed.
Yeah, I'll be broke too because in college it ain't like you could just go out and just grab a new system.
Exactly, bro. Exactly. I was mad as fuck. I'm like, damn, I just bought this fucking saved up bread working at this front desk to get me a PS3, and now y'all want to drop this fucking damn.
I've been putting all your little student checks away.
Literally, G.
Time flies for that.
So, GB, you said you don't play that many games, but do you have a favorite?
My favorite game of all time, or just in general, would have to be the Legend of Zelda series. Those have always been
Okay.
my favorite. I
Nice genre.
enjoy.
What's your favorite
I've always,
Legend of Zelda game?
uh
Ocarina.
between Ocarina of Time and I know people didn't really fuck with it like that, but I liked the Twilight. Is it Twilight Princess?
Fair enough. You haven't played the new one? You got a Switch, right?
Breath of the Wild. I got a Switch, but I have not. I've only played part of Breath of the Wild. I haven't finished it.
Yeah, play that shit,
I
bro.
have to actually buy it on the Switch. I know it's
Because I feel like
called-
that's a game that your ass gonna be like, this was an experience, bro. I feel like
Oh, you already know. It's,
One of
it's
them
probably
shits.
gonna be. It's probably gonna be what I wanted Skyward Sword to be, and then I played Skyward Sword and it was like, that shit was huff. I'm upset.
Yeah.
But it's probably gonna be like that. I just haven't got around to play it. I did play Hyrule Legends, and I like that the hack and slash game.
How y'all
Yeah.
like? How do you like them? Kind of like I don't. There's a term for it, but I'm gonna say
first-person
like
shooter?
Dynasty Warriors type games.
Hack and slash, right?
That's not really what they call. It's
Oh.
it's an actual technical term for it. But I'm gonna say Warriors type games because it's like Dynasty Warriors. I feel like was the game that started that genre of gaming, similar to like the One Piece Pirate Warriors, where it's just a whole bunch of fodder ass enemies and you just one dude beating up like one man army type shit.
Mm-hmm. I think it may.
Yeah, I can't
normally,
remember the technical term.
But you know it's a technical term.
Normally, I don't really gravitate to those like that.
But you fucked with it because it was Zelda.
Yes and no. So normally I don't gravitate to them because if I do play a game, like I do normally like open worlds, and I played a lot like RPGs. I like just exploring and either exploring or I'm playing like a first person shooter, and of course with the guys like you playing sports. But I like exploring, and I normally don't gravitate to them in that sense. But with Zelda, it felt like a mini quest to me. So it felt like a kind of light version of Zelda, and like literally I just laid in the bed with the Switch and just played here and there, and was able just to progress through it, get a halfway decent story, and have some Zelda elements and play with different characters, and it was fun in that sense. So like for what it was, I enjoyed it, but normally I don't gravitate to those games. So I think the only reason I really did mess with it, like Sensei said, was because it was Zelda, and I know the story, like I know what I'm finna get.
For
Okay,
me, it's like it's generational for me. Like per generation, I have a favorite game. As of right now, like of all time type shit. As of right now, my favorite game of all time is Last of Us 2.
I know he was gonna
nice.
say this, boy. The agenda is coming.
Nigga, for sure. That game is fire. Before that was Last of Us. Before that was Last of Us. Now, that doesn't mean that I recognize, when games of the year and shit like that come around, what game is worthy of those titles and shit like that. But as far as my favorites, that right now, but obviously Devil May Cry is another big one for me, like the Devil May Cry series. Ooh, excuse me.
Look at hit.
Crash, hell yeah, this shit smacking, boy. This dude saying coke. The Crash series is another one. And I think that's really it. As far as like my big ones, yeah.
I was
Are
always
you excited
fast.
for the Last of Us series?
Yes.
TV
wait.
show?
Is it a TV show or a movie?
TV show, I think.
The one you talking about when they casted buddy,
Pedro Pascal?
Oberyn. I thought it was a movie. It's a TV show?
I'm checking right now.
Yo,
'Cause I thought it was-
Jamie
I thought
thinks
it was a
everything a
TV
TV show.
Yeah.
He be ready to watch some TV, bro.
So Miss Marvel was definitely a TV series.
Okay.
I looked that up.
Yeah, it
Okay.
was.
Yeah, so it's a TV series. Yeah,
What?
it's gonna be a TV series on HBO. HBO
Okay.
Max.
Yes, I am excited for it. I do think that they could have cast somebody better from Game of Thrones as Joel, but it is what it is. I hated
Who did you
over.
want?
I would have rather it been Jamie, honestly.
Interesting. I mean, I guess he looks more like Joel.
He
but
looks the part way more. I don't know if he could act it, but I also don't know if Oberyn could act it. You get what I'm saying?
We just have to see the final product to see how it comes out. Like
For sure.
hopefully,
So it's-
hopefully it just delivers. That's why like it just comes on screen and actually plays the part.
It would have been hilarious if they would have got Ellen Page to be Ellie, though. Is that her name? Ellen Page?
it's Elliot.
Elliot Page?
Yeah, he's transgender.
Really? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it's Elliot.
Oh, nice. Well, yeah, it would have been fucking hilarious if they would have got him to be not Joe Ellie, because you remember
Can't
it was
do
like
that
that
now,
big
though.
thing, right? It was that big thing. I
Yeah.
definitely didn't know that he was transgender, but yeah,
Yeah.
it was that big thing where they would like she was about to sue him, right? Like sue Naughty Dog for like her likeness using. Her
I
likeness.
didn't know that.
Yes. So when Last of Us 1 first came out, it was like a law. There was a pending lawsuit against Naughty Dog from Ellen Page to sue them for using her likeness without.
Okay.
Did not know that. Wow.
Yeah.
Huh.
It was around the time. It was another game that they actually got the license to use her likeness for. I forgot the name of it, but that game also came out around the same time as Last of Us.
Was it legit? Like the likeness was really close?
It's close enough.
I don't think so, but
You don't think so?
nah.
I see it.
A
agree.
little bit.
I agree.
I
I
do
can
see it.
tell the difference. I can tell the difference, but if I'm Ellen Page and I'm looking at that, y'all kind of got some inspiration from me.
Oh yeah.
You
for
get what I'm
sure.
saying?
I do
Y'all
see
got
a
some
bit.
inspiration from me. And because there was another game where the main character was also a little girl that looked exactly like Ellen Page, and they actually had the rights to use her likeness, it was really like Ellen was on some, hold on, G, y'all think y'all gonna just use my face to get away. You know what I mean? I could see how it went that way. But no, I mean, again, my only like hesitation towards the TV series is dude as Joel. That's it. If he can perform in the first 2 or 3 episodes and let me know, like once they get to the big scene, like one of the big like the big scene, which was like the first 15 minutes of the game.
Mhm.
If he performs in that moment, I damn near be rolling. Like if he moves me to tears like the game did, like I will be rolling.
Yeah, I think Pedro Pascal's the right guy. I mean, the guy that played Jaime on Game of Thrones, like he's all right. Like he hasn't done much things outside of that, but Pedro, he's been killing it. Like he's been doing so many different like diverse roles. I'd actually think he'll do a really good job on The Last of Us series.
He has. And what's crazy, somebody told me about a different role that he played. I recognized him in Wonder Woman, but I hated him in Wonder Woman.
Yeah,
but somebody
makes
told me he
sense.
played something else
He's Mando.
recently. Mando in
The Mandalorian.
I did, yeah, that, but I don't watch The Mandalorian, so I didn't see that.
You
gotcha.
should. Oh, you should. It's so good. It's
You don't
one
watch
of
The
the
Flames,
Mandalorian?
bro.
it's one of the best thing of Star Wars. Like trust me. Like
Ever.
if you don't like the movies, you will love this show. This show actually has a lot of passion and love for the Star Wars lore.
I actually
Yeah,
got a quick question. We ain't got to dive too deep into it, but I do, since I didn't know y'all were Star Wars fans. Prequels or sequels? Which one's better?
Prequels.
I agree.
Haven't
like the
seen
prequels better.
the third film of the sequel, so I guess prequel then.
Based off the 2, you got prequels.
Yeah.
You think that third film has any way of swaying you to go to? It's close to you,
I haven't even bothered to see after 2 years being out. I haven't had the chance or have
but is it close to you?
No, I prefer the prequels because I enjoy the prequels cartoons, aka the Rebels and Star Wars: The Clone Wars. I enjoy the cartoons, so and that involves in the prequel type of era. So, prequel.
Fair enough. GB.
Maybe.
I think I'm more prequel.
Good shit.
Cuzzo
You guys are good men.
You?
Cuzzo got me on the Star Wars wave more heavily. He's like super into Star Wars. Frankie from the Worst Gen Pod, super into Star Wars. And if he was messing with Mandalorian, even just a little, because he's hypercritical about everything Star Wars that drops. So if he's messing with Mandalorian even little, then I feel like there's something to it.
Facts.
Yeah. Like besides the Clone Wars animated series, like it's my second favorite Star Wars thing, period. Honestly, it's really good, and the second season is way better than the first season.
Oh yes.
Nice.
Which is insane to think about. But yeah, Mando's awesome. He's great. Like he can emote so much under a helmet. So that's
exactly
the
what I
mark
was
of
gonna
a
say.
really good actor to me. Like if you can emote all of your emotions and I can't even see your face, like that's good acting.
He has really good body control and like body posture when
And the
he's
tone
trying
as
to-
well.
Yeah, and the tone when he's showing the scene, it really works. Kind of impressive when if you really sit down and look at it, you're like, he really getting off.
Right?
He acting.
I have to check it out.
You do
man,
like
you really have to.
just find the time to do it, like for you to watch it. It's just only 8 episodes each, and each is like 30 minutes, 35, 40 minutes. Nothing is more than 42 or 45 minutes. So like you could just kill it in over 2 weeks. Just take your time, and you'll be right there smooth by it.
Yeah, I mean the prequels has issues, but at least the prequels is one cohesive story across 3 films, and the sequel trilogy is just whatever the fuck the directors wanted to do in
That's
that
true
moment,
though.
and there is no cohesive story.
I'm on the prequel side, so
is every part of the sequel under the realm of Disney?
I think so.
Yes.
Okay,
Everything's under the realm of
that's-
Kathleen Kennedy, just putting whatever she thinks on the wall and telling the directors, do what you want, and next director, do what
What's
you
the
want.
name? Not have no. Did fuck is his name? God damn, the creator.
Lucas.
Did he have no say in the sequels?
Nope.
Apparently,
He
he gave them the manuscripts or like all his notes and everything.
He
It
gave
was like,
advice,
this is the
yeah.
story. This is where it's going, because it was like
On
he
some
had
Game of
more.
Thrones, shit, where it was like, all right, this is kind of how it's gonna go. How y'all want to get there is up to y'all.
I
They
mean, he
basically-
gave them a spec for like for 7, 8, and 9 that he wrote, and then they did something completely different.
Oh, so it wasn't his vision. Okay.
No, they did their own thing. They promised Neverland.
Yo, Promise Neverland going out so fucking sad, and I stopped watching after they confirmed it was different, but before they confirmed it was different, if that makes sense. So I was 2 episodes behind, and then Twitter confirmed it was trash, and I stopped. I just didn't watch the next 2 that I was behind on, or any else.
Which makes sense in everything.
I've been seeing memes, and that shit been funny as hell.
I'm glad that
But I'm sorry,
John Favreau and what's the other guy, James, that he's working with?
Dave Filoni.
Thank you, Dave Filoni. They're both Star Wars heavy, and Dave Filoni worked under George Lucas in the beginning of the prequels and everything, and he also did produce Star Wars: The Clone Wars. Then these 2 people, I have a lot of faith for them to have the helm of Mandalorian season 3, Ahsoka, and all the other series that will be coming within the next 3-4 years. So I'm very excited for that. And
Were you guys kind of worried about the Mandalorian after how the sequels went?
because I knew that Dave
Even though
Filoni
it
was
gonna
on
be
it.
produced by produced
I
by-
knew
Yeah, the
that-
moment I knew that Filoni and Favreau were over it, I was perfectly fine with it. Like, yes, Kathleen Kennedy is still the end-all be-all, but the fact that they were both writing it, producing it, like overseeing the entire process, I knew it was going to be great. And it really is.
I'm different from these guys, but I also don't track the information that they track. So I'm not familiar with any of the producers or directors or anything.
John
for Star
Favreau
Wars
is
like
the
that.
dude from Spider-Man, right?
He did Iron Man. The
Yeah,
very
Iron
first
Man,
one
he's the-
started it
so-
all. Yeah.
So,
If you
but,
want to think about it,
I don't look at that when it comes to Star Wars. So for me, I was a little nervous going in because I didn't really like.
He's an actor. I'm saying if you don't know who he is, he's the
Oh,
he's
yeah,
the
yeah,
dude-
yeah, yeah.
He's
Oh,
the
yeah.
dude that's fucking Spider-Man's auntie.
Oh, okay. Bet.
if you want
That's
to see
all I
like
need to
that,
hear.
sure. If you want to see like that, sure. But at the same time, if you think about it, John Favreau started 2 MCU. He started the Marvel Cinematic Universe, and he started the Mandalorian Cinematic Universe as well, because people don't count the whole type of sequels, because we just watched the Mandalorian Cinematic Universe of what happened on the TV show. So John Favreau technically started 2 MCU.
To MCU.
Yeah, I mean, he's one of the goats, man. Like he knows how to flesh out characters and stories, and I can't wait to see like where the rest of like these TV shows go. But I want to switch gears real quick.
Yeah, go ahead. bro.
And I want to get into main topic number 1, and I want to talk about like just your non-spoiler thoughts on the Snyder cut. GB, I want to start with you.
Non-spoiler
we
thoughts.
keep starting with GB.
Non-spoiler.
So I did extra research, and I went back and watched the Whedon cut, as I'm gonna call it, just to see where I stood, like to see what the difference was, and kind of like fill it out. I will say it gave me perspective. I talked to Sensei about this before the pod, and before I actually watched the Whedon cut, I felt closer to what Sensei feels. But after watching the Whedon cut, I was like, yeah, I get it. So for me, originally watching the Snyder cut, I did feel like it was long. But after watching the slop and how the original Justice League was kind of thrown together and how the scenes don't have transition, the characters and the situations lack tone and weight, I didn't get that same feel with Snyder's cut, and I felt like that extra hour and a half that he gave us was what solved that. So I'm okay with the 4 hours now. I think that Snyder did a hell of a job with it, all things considered. I love the fact that he set up other things for, a further DCEU universe that we'll probably never get. I don't know if DC can technically pick up the ball with those things and run with those other films, or if they'll even do it correctly. Uh, I did appreciate he fixed the problem for me that I've had with most of the DC live action movies, where for the most part, these are like gods, these are immortals and people, and when they get in these fights, I don't feel like the weight of the fights ever matches the characters. Like the gravity of the destruction, the impact from their hits, it doesn't fit with the characters. And I didn't feel that way when I was watching Snyder Cut. I feel like he did a better job of showing that these are destructive characters and what the Force can do. I did tweak out a little bit because I still feel like they've underrated characters like Flash, and I feel like they've underrated Aquaman. I didn't like the treatment that they got 100%, but I did appreciate how the stories are more fleshed out in Snyder's cut. Overall, I liked it. I'd probably give it, like a 8 to 8.5. I liked it a lot more than I like Whedon's. Whedon's, I wouldn't even have watched the second time unless we were doing this episode and I wanted perspective.
Cool. Yeah, I love that. Like, we can do like mild spoilers because like I have an entire episode dedicated to full spoilers on the.
I didn't know. I'm sitting there like, what can I say?
Good,
what
bro.
can I say?
I'm
you
cool.
good.
I'm cool with no spoilers if you don't want to, bro. If you want to save that for the other pod, definitely feel free. Like I'm good. We trained, bro.
Yeah,
I don't mind.
We media trained.
They said Justice League in the comments, and I like that. I think I'm a coin that term. Thank you, C-Squared and Nova.
Damn. G,
so like we can talk about like the scenes that were similar to WB's cut. Like I want to call it the Whedon's cut, but like I can't really because he came in at the last minute to just do whatever WB wanted him to do. And he didn't have like a lot of control over that project. But yeah, we can talk about like once we get general thoughts, we can talk about the scenes that were like the same in Whedon's cut, but just slightly different in Snyder's vision.
We could definitely I want to talk about Wonder Woman scene when we get there because me and Sensei talked about it earlier, and I liked his points, and I got points for that, so that's cool.
Yeah, that's one of the things I wanted to talk about as well. So Sensei, let me get your general mild spoiler thoughts on the film overall.
Oh shit! You got breathe in real quick. That should go down the wrong pipe. Ultimately, it was 1,000% better than WB's cut or version or whatever the fuck you call it.
WB's cut.
A better movie. It was the Justice League that I felt we should have gotten, but I had an issue with the length. Whereas GB feels as though the hour and 30 minutes is justified, which I can understand it given the circumstances. I still don't think 4 hours is like even reasonable. Like I get it.
WB cut, bro.
He felt like no. I've seen it. I wasn't gonna rewatch it because no.
Watch it after that.
Hey nigga. I feel it, but it was a lot of scenes that I could tell were dragging for the sake of dragging. Like not necessarily scenes or dialogue, but just cinematography, if that makes sense. Like it was a lot of scenes where it's 7 different shots of you panning over the city. The same city that you about to transition to another scene in. It's like, why are you doing that? You know what I mean? Like we could have been cool with 1 or 2. You get what I mean? Or somebody coming out the car, you got to show me the car pulling up 3 or 4 different ways. Like, all right, I see you pulling it. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going in knowing this is a 4-hour movie. But with that in mind, I don't think that it would have I would have been somewhat upset knowing that I'm going to the theater to watch a 4 hour. I don't think I could have made it, honestly. But given the structure that it was on, I could pause it, come back to it later, yada yada yada. It works. It does work. Yes, he added I don't want to say added because maybe this was just already there, but
this is all his original.
Exactly. It showed us all the shit that needed to be shown. That added, like GB said, the weight, the context, the personality to not only the fucking people but the film. Like it added all of that. Like the I can't talk spoilers, but going deeper into each of those heroes' stories worked. It worked better with some than others, but it still worked. I think they did the best job with Cyborg. Like overall, I think he did the best job with Cyborg, which I'm okay with. I think they showed a better Batman. Like I appreciated the way Batman was in this movie than the Sweden cut or whatever the fuck his name is.
Sweden.
Sweden.
So yeah, like I could notice the changes. The problems that I had with outside of just poor cinematography and stuff like that with the Sweden cut, the problems that I had with how they portrayed some of the heroes still stick, because that for the most part didn't really change. I did feel for them more. Like I did, okay, this character's motivation is this character's fighting for this character feels like this in this moment. Like I got all of that, but at the same time, if they still showing this character like this or making this character act or be like this, and I'm not used to them being like that because I'm a comic, you know what I'm saying? I'm a comic guy. This is me on some, this guy ain't really like that in the comics type shit. Then that's just me on some nerd shit. But other than that, I have no real complaints outside of my already complaints about how characters are portrayed. Other than that, it was really good. It was a much better movie. It was a much better piece of work. Shout out to Snyder. He did a hell of a fucking job. I didn't know all of the background, like UJB and then UGB were educating me on all of the background shit that was going on with the DCEU and Zack Snyder, and I didn't know half of that shit. So I had been going into those movies just with my nerd brain. This is DC, that's Marvel. Let's see how you guys scale. You guys aren't hitting the bar. You know what I mean? Like that. That was just how I was going into it. But I 1000% understand the circumstances for which Zack Snyder was put in, and I can see how this shit could have been cold as fuck. Given the right amount of time and the freedom to do the shit how he wanted to, DCEU could be cracking right now. Like right
Facts,
now.
bro. Big facts.
I think another thing that I found out after this that really bothered me that I didn't notice the first time I watched, or maybe I didn't care to notice, that Snyder's name sits on the original, and the Sweden cut only has Josh has like a credit for a writer. And for me, that's a problem. Like, if I'm him, people actually literally told him don't ever watch that movie, and like they kept it away from him. But if I'm him, I'm upset. Like, how did y'all even think it's okay to still put my name on this when this is clearly not the movie I had in mind? Like,
I think it's a legality type thing. Like,
it's contract.
So
he still needs to get
heavily
paid for it.
involved, and like the direction of the film was still technically his. So legally, I think they had to put him on as director.
Oh, well, I say that to say, so on Twitter today, I noticed there's a subset of people that don't understand what happened behind the scenes. And so they think that this Snyder cut is like Snyder trying to take a second chance with the Justice League. Like, they think he did the first movie and failed, and now he's trying to like, well, what y'all think about this one instead? When in actuality, like, that's not really him. So I wonder how that's going to play out, kind of like in public perception, or if that will cause like the Mandela effect down the line, like 10 years from now. People are having two different takes on what happened. It's like, well, what really happened?
Yeah. Vash, what were your overall general thoughts on the film?
So James noticed very well from both show of Careful Spoilers and for Villains. I'm not very good on spoilers, but this show is called Careful Spoilers, so if I do spoil something, my apologies. So this way, I could get away with it, so I'm saying it now. I fucking love this film. Zack Snyder's vision of this film is much better than the original. Watching this film, it got me more mad of how I actually gave optimistic thoughts of defending the Zack / Whedon film. Now I'm like, fuck that shit.
You were defending it?
Not defending it. I was.
You was defending it, bro?
No. I was being optimistic. Like, it was okay. It was a good solid 6.
No, that's
like
defending it, bro.
That's cap, bro.
I was like, be optimistic about it. Now watching this Zack Snyder film, I'm like, you know what? Fuck that film. That feels like a 2 out of 10. Fuck that shit. That shit trash. Because
so now you backpedaling?
Hell yeah, I'm backpedaling. I'm backpedaling.
All the niggas heard bad things.
Hey,
Van
said,
and tell this nigga, no, you said this on this day, nigga. Fuck out.
Hey, I need somebody to drop the dish you tweet on Vash's page.
What is dish you on Vash, bro? I need to see
because I am
fucking slander.
Is what GB and Sensei said earlier, saying that of how much spotlight Cyborg got, how much fucking improvement Barry Allen got as a character, and how much improvement Batman does not cracking jokes saying that I hear you talk fishes. Like, no, Batman Bruce don't talk like that. He's a person that's straight to the point. He don't be. I'm telling people, hey,
it was a lot of stuff in the Sweden cut that sucks.
Yeah, so like Batman's that person who goes straight to the point. Like, hey, I know they use superpower. Just throw the battery, gets to the point, and that's it. So I love this movie for that reason. Knowing also Aquaman.
Motherfucker saying Justice League is hilarious in the chat.
Yeah,
that's what I said earlier. I love Justice League.
And
Go
also,
ahead, man. My bad.
And also Aquaman itself, Star Labs with Cyborg as well, like involving more about the story, knowing the connection, Dark Side, like that whole connection and the flashback of the original Amazons, the humans and the Atlanteans was beautiful to see that. And
first of all, I got a question real quick, Vash. Was that chase scene in the original movie? I don't remember that.
It was a lot smaller. It was a lot smaller.
When Steppenwolf first showed up and he was on it, you know what I'm saying? Themyscira.
Oh, yeah. It was in there. Like Vash said, it's just a lot shorter.
Yeah, it's just a lot
bro,
shorter.
That
like,
scene was cold. Like
I was chasing the Amazonians.
Yeah. That scene was cold. I'm sorry, I'm spoiler shit, but like.
So that's one of the things that we're going to go into spoilers on, because it was in the Whedon cut and because it was just like extended and a little bit different in the Snyder cut. We can definitely go full spoilers into that, but I want to wait till Vash is done.
Okay, go ahead.
And then I'll say a few things and then we can get into that. You're good.
So like I just love seeing what happened with Green Lantern and everything with the whole flashback, but like James said, we'll talk about them more in a few. And the other small cameos of said characters happening in the middle and the epilogue at the end. It's like, oh, damn, this. Like, what? Like, knowing that this is the film that he portrayed. Yes, it could have been, like, maybe 20 minutes shorter. Did I feel it long? I felt it more in the beginning, which is weird. I did not really feel it in the middle or end, because I feel like in the middle and end had more of the story progress, more of the characters moving, more of the story going forward and everything. I from the beginning we could have like cut down like a good 10-20 minutes at most, but honestly I enjoyed these 4 hours. My fiance actually was watching the first 2 hours and a half with me, and she fell asleep afterwards because one, she was just tired, but she actually enjoyed it. She had said, oh, this movie is very informative, a lot of information, these names, trying to understand it, but she actually was engaged. And she never was intrigued to watch the original
that's
Justice
like
League.
Girlfriend talk for like, I'm not fucking with it, but I know my baby like it.
Correct.
It's very informative. I've gotten that a couple times.
Yeah, but at the same time, my girl actually enjoyed Wonder Woman. She enjoyed Man of Steel. She was not intrigued to watch Justice League of Josh Whedon one. But with this one, she actually enjoyed the first 2 hours. She actually was having a good time. She enjoyed it, and she was invested. She actually was like, oh, that's Barry. That's pretty cool. I've seen the other Barry from the CW and everything, so she actually was engaging with the film with me, so I was very happy about that. Like, for her to actually enjoy the Zack Snyder version. Will she ever want to finish it with me? Who knows? But overall, this film was a blast. I enjoyed this 4 hours. Would I want more? We could talk about that later. But James, give us your non-spoiler thoughts about this.
Yeah, I absolutely love this movie. I think it's a near perfect movie, honestly. I differ from you, Sensei. Like, I don't think the 4-hour runtime is an issue. I actually think it's paced really, really well, and I didn't even feel the 4 hours once I got to the end. Like my only negative, and it's not even Snyder's fault, my only negative of that film is the fact that it's clear that Zack Snyder and James Wan never had a conversation of what the world of Aquaman was actually going to be like in the DCEU.
I didn't want to say it because I'm like, that might be spoilerish, but
just mild stuff.
I
but yeah, like
that goes into like character portrayals and shit like that. Like,
the mythos is different. Like they use like air bubbles to talk in Snyder's cut, and in James Wan's cut they just talk underwater because that makes sense. So that was one of the things that I didn't like, but I thought the film was great. Again, like I said, it's near perfect in my eyes. Steppenwolf is actually a character. There's actually deep motivations to him,
and he looks good.
Why he came to Earth, he was so good. Unlike that stupid Steppenwolf from the Sweden cut, I know, mother, we will unite the unity. He sounded like a fucking idiot, bro.
And a child.
And I love the character. Yeah, I love the character design. You can actually tell that Steppenwolf is from another universe. He's not this like humanoid looking creature. I love that. Each member of the Justice League got their own deeper characterizations and motivations. And when we get those team up moments at the end, it's actually earned. You know what I mean? The Sweden cut overly sexualizes all of the Amazons, all of Diana's scenes. There's literally a crane camera sequence that goes right into her ass, bro. And it's like, this kind of stuff is not necessary. Believe me, I'm watching Gal Gadot. Believe me, she's fine as fuck. I'm watching her. Believe me. I don't need...
Real quick. Gal Gadot or... what's her name?
Scarlet?
No. Damn.
Movie? At least give us a hint to guide you.
Yeah, like something.
From WandaVision, bro.
Oh, Elizabeth Olsen?
No.
The chick that played Monica?
Yes, Monica. I knew it started with M. I was going to say Mandy. I'm like, no. What is her name? Monica. Which one? Gal Gadot or Monica?
Oh, man. Yeah, I gotta go with Gal, man.
What?
Yeah, I gotta go with Gal.
I'll put it up in Monica.
I like long legs, bro. I like really long legs.
Oh no,
like she's fine as
natural.
Fuck to me.
That's natural.
But to add to what James was saying as well,
natural hair and them hips.
Yeah, oh yeah, she's gorgeous. But
did you see her in those government pants?
Exactly, brother. You ever seen a male lady? A black male lady?
You go to the TSA checkpoint and she got the pants on.
Yeah, check me out.
Want to say my shirt off?
But to add to what James was saying real quick as well, my girl was also saying that Gadot looks beautiful here. I love her action sequence. She also mentioned the whole fight between Steppenwolf and versus the Amazonians, of how well the fight and everything. She didn't say like, oh my god, like they're all sexualized. She said like how beautiful they look, well fighting and everything. So she was just amazed of how well choreographed the whole fight was without having to try to look very sexualized for them.
Yeah, like I love the actress that plays Monica. She's absolutely gorgeous. I love her hair. I love her curves. Like, that's not the issue. I'm just a little bit more attracted to Gal. But I just love that the Amazons and Gal was just not like overly sexualized in that cut. I think the score was way better in this movie. It actually felt like when the Amazons were on screen, it actually felt like a sword and sandal epic. So I love all of that stuff. Again, the pacing was great. I love this movie overall. So we keep bringing up the Amazon fight sequence. So let's talk about that, right? And how it differs from the Whedon cut. So for me, the biggest difference for me was that I actually felt the sacrifice of the Amazons inside of the chamber with the mother box. And that's something that's never touched on in the Whedon cut. They don't honor their sacrifice.
They just die.
It's not paid with any type of respect whatsoever. And it's brutal, and you can tell these amazing women are fighting their asses off, and they're fighting to preserve the future of not just Themyscira, but the entire world. And again, that's not something
I was getting hella Thanos vibes from like that whole sequence, like Infinity War Thanos vibes on some. I'm like, we're doing all of this to stop you and still dying, like
you're wiping all of us out.
Exactly, like I'm like, this shit is lit. Was this another one? I don't remember this.
Everything Diana took a hit in the Sweden cut, and I have a problem with that because then after watching the Snyder cut, like I really care, not just like with the Amazon scenes with and before I say Steppenwolf, I'm also gonna say I love his armor a lot more. I felt like he was very bland,
it was so detailed.
monochromatic, and like one
The
dimensional.
spikes and everything.
Sweden
It was
cut.
lit. And he was like changing it with his mind.
It was changing.
Like, so crazy.
And just his physical makeup too. It makes his physical makeup look more menacing and more like brutish. So I liked them a lot more in the Snyder cut. But I feel like Diana, the Amazonians as a whole,
Amazonians.
They took a hit because like in the Sweden cut, you just like you see things happen and you see Diana recognizing like, oh, this must have happened to my sisters and everything, but like, where did she get that information from? You don't know how that happened. Like, you don't get all those in between shots, and so you really take the time to like, you see a little bit of their rituals and their cultures and the customs. Like you said, JB, you see the sacrifice inside the temple. Even that little bit of extra time they spend on those scenes, it helps you kind of just be like, man, they really going out. I mean, this dude beating their ass, but they ain't going down without swinging.
Yeah, and I love how more brutal it was. Like
way more brutal.
I'm like,
some of them in half, bro.
Rated right now. I'm like, holy shit, he was cutting niggas in half. Like you said, he was cutting niggas in half, like chopping holes down. I'm damn, bro. You going crazy with this fucking axe.
Grab Shorty by her face in midair and just put her through the wall.
Through the wall.
One of my favorite lines as well is, show them your fear. We have no fear. I love that
lit
line.
on some
Yes,
300
bro.
shit.
That was beautiful.
I felt that, bro.
300 is my favorite movie of all time. And I really was like, oh, when they...
Yeah, me too.
Oh,
It's when Beyonce was right here laying on me. And I was like, yes, scream it. Let's go.
Bro, I'm getting chills right now just from you saying that. Like, when they gave us that moment, I felt that moment, bro. Like,
I felt that, bro. I screamed at the screen.
Hell yeah, man.
It definitely, I love that connection, Sensei. That's definitely the, what are you? I'm a blacksmith.
Right.
What are you? Like I'm a farmer. Spartans.
Yo, but no
Yes,
lie,
bro.
I felt bad for each one that fell down. Like, I felt the emotion when each one was getting knocked down. When the horses getting knocked down too, I'm like, damn, the horses.
Crazy, bro.
I felt bad. Like, I felt the emotions for it.
Everybody, G. But like, bro, it was so much like intensity in that scene when he first came out the water and just like, fuck, I'm passing the queen. I'm going for this box. And then the parademon grabbed the box, but Shorty was hanging on by a fingernail, bro. And then just
one of these
big body her body
One
up
of these.
there. Damn, how did you just get your ass up there, G? They was really struggling, bro. Holy shit.
They elongate the
seat,
bow and
nigga.
arrow. They elongate the bow and arrow scene in the Snyder cut. I liked it in the Sweden cut.
You talking about like when she put the bow on the
Shorty
thing
wrapped the
and they
rope
shot
around
it?
and give it the la. They elongate that scene in the Snyder cut. And I love it even more. Like the pressure is there. Like the suspense is there. Like will she make it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Find out next time on an episode of Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, in the Sweden cut, so same thing. Back to what I was saying earlier. In the Sweden cut, it's like a cut scene. It's like you just get there and she's already wrapped the box up and she just shoots it and it's gone. But like you don't see the context of everything that's happening around her. It just looks like another chain in the constant events that we have. Even looking at, I'm gonna jump over to the bank scene in the Sweden cut. You just flow through the bank, like everything just happens so fast and it doesn't feel organic. Like it's like, okay, like
you know what
this is
pisses me off
fast.
about that?
What's up?
While I was watching the Snyder cut, I remembered a lot of these scenes based off the trailer of the Sweden cut. So I'm like, this nigga, because that was a problem that I had watching the Sweden cut. Like,
where are all these scenes?
Where's all these scenes that y'all showed in the
theater?
trailer?
Like they didn't even show.
They ain't even show the fucking. The bitch was going crazy with the fucking bracelets. They ain't even show that, but that was in the trailer.
Mm-hmm.
But
they show it. They show it in the Sweden cut, but it's not.
It's a different version.
It's
a different
very
version.
fast. Like it just happens. It doesn't have the suspense. And you know the moment I mean, like it doesn't have the tester, and then you got everything else that happens. Like it doesn't have that suspense and that build up to it. And
but most importantly,
like
it just didn't have the emotion as well, because in the Snyder cut, she asked the little girl, "Princess, can you get up?" She said, "I want to be like you," and she said, "You can be whatever you want to be." And I like, you felt that emotion in this. In the Josh Whedon cut, you didn't get that. you just saw her. You just saw the little girl getting up. You didn't feel that emotion of her being saved by everyone and everything. Like this was.
I don't even think you see that in the Sweden cut. It's just over. Like after
was
she
just
do
over?
it, it's just over. We just move on to another scene. We elsewhere.
Where was
elsewhere with it?
I want to see that. And they showed me that in this. So I'm like, so this really was how this nigga was coming. And they had the nerve to use this nigga footage to promote the fucking movie.
That's why I call it the WB cut. Like these are WB's decisions to not use any of Zack Snyder's footage and then to reshoot everything through this different lens, and it's bullshit, man. Like on the topic of that sequence, like I love how long it is. I love how brutal it is. Like it's so gritty. Diana is kicking maging ass. And then, like Vash was just saying, like that inspiration that she gives to that little girl that asks her, like, "Can I be like you?" And she tells her, "You can be whatever you want to be." Those are the marks of a true hero, man. Like truly inspiring other people to be the best version of themselves. Like that's the kind of shit that I want to see. You know what I mean? Like this movie does so many amazing things. That's just way better than the Whedon's cut.
Way better.
So I want to talk about the Superman fight. Like after Superman is resurrected, and
that was my favorite scene of the Sweden. That was my favorite scene of the Sweden movie.
It's even better.
It still stays my favorite scene of this movie too.
He whipped the masses left and right.
Bro, it was just him looking at Flash while he was running for me.
Superman
bam, bam. But the most funny is
that shit was so crazy. I'm like,
the most funny is when he threw
Superman
Barry with Aquaman, and the Barry's like, I'm sorry. Like, and Aquaman just look at him like, I just wanna slap the shit out of you. Like that fight we seen was brutal.
Yeah. Go ahead, GB.
With the Superman scene, we already used the word brutal 4 or 5 times, countless times at this point. That's what I mean when I say the weight of what happens with these DC characters in a movie. So before, they don't show the brutality. When you see in the Sweden cut, what you see from Diana is just her blocking bullets, moving at a fast speed, like you see these cuts or whatever. You see her literally interacting with regular humans, and you see her effortlessly trying and breaking these dudes in half. Like you see the brutality of it. And then to have that scale in your mind, and now you see her go against Superman, and you see how brutal he is with her. He's just like, he ultra instinct, like he not trying against these dudes. He's just like, what is y'all doing, man?
It got to a point where he just stood there.
Yeah,
like they all charged him.
Batman.
Like,
I just want Batman. Like we ain't even gotta do this right now. I ain't even mad at y'all. like, just give me Batman.
It was tough.
So
I like that they changed that Batman sequence too. Like the dialogue.
Oh,
I like that they changed that too. That was that it was different. I don't want to say that they changed.
The lead up to it, because you see you see a sense of fear.
It was kind of funny.
Batman too. Like
it was kind of funny because it was like all of them niggas knew Superman trying to fuck this nigga up. We gotta say this. At the end of the day, he's just a rich white man. We need to say it.
And Batman knows too. Funny. You can see it. You can see it in the mouth.
As soon as they was done,
he was like, "I should not be here."
Yeah, because when Barry asked him, "So what's your superpower?" He's like, "I'm rich."
I was like, "That's racism."
White privilege. Look, white privilege. But he's rich, but he's also smart though. Like he doesn't like to be confident. Yeah, I know, but like he doesn't like to be confident or very cocky about it. But he literally is a smart dude that has no sort of the oldest technology that he has within his Batcave. So like
Nova brings up a really good point. Lois not coming out of nowhere was so much better, and that's the issue, right? Like WB's mandate to make Whedon's cut 2 hours, including credits, cuts out really significant scenes. Like all of that lead up to Lois coming back to that spot. We know from the Snyder cut that she's been going there almost every single day. By the way, that cop that she gives the coffee to played Jimmy Olsen in the old Superman movies. So that's a nice little Easter egg. It makes sense that she was there because she goes there every single day to honor the monument of Superman. So that made sense that she showed up.
And plus to add as well,
in the Sweden cut, Batman planned it on his eyes and shit.
Yeah, I have a secret weapon.
Yeah.
Stupid bullshit, bro.
It blows that from as
They
well.
be
Like,
dead as fuck.
I am, bro. The Whedon's
No.
cut's bullshit.
you have a point for that because me myself, I'm an editor. You need to
Right.
transitions for things for you to tell your story in scenes. How you gonna go from scene 1 to scene 2 to scene 4, and how you gonna get there from scene 1 to scene 4? And Josh Whedon cut out an important transition, knowing that Lois Lane has been going there every day to give coffee and go see the monument of Superman, and for you to pop up in the Josh Whedon version, just popping her there, saying that what James just said, oh, I have a secret weapon. No, it's just that she goes there all the time. She goes gives coffee to the cop. She goes there and pays respects. And that was beautiful. Like, that's how you do transition. That's how you do storytelling. And Josh Whedon, like, yeah, it could be his fault. It could be WB. Overall, it both their fault for cutting out that important transitions that it happens and shows the motion and storytelling of why she was there, and Batman as well, because he was shooting bricks when Superman was about to just kill him.
He was shitting bricks.
Oh yeah, because he knew Superman was gonna kill him. Go ahead, G.
Chief D Hater brought up the Cyborg stuff, his beef. What is his name? Ray. Ray
beef,
Fisher. Ray's beef with Whedon. Is that the reason the Cyborg stuff got cut out? That would be interesting because I did a lot of background reading about the interviews and stuff, and apparently both Ray and Gal had beef with.
Like, wait, is
Whedon.
Ray the actor that plays Cyborg?
Yes,
Yes.
correct. Yes.
This little ass
apparently-
nigga was beefing with her?
With,
Gal
with
Gal
Joss
and Ray were
Whedon.
beefing with Joss
Oh,
Whedon.
okay.
They had like big beef with him, like behind the scenes, like
Yeah, he was being
like,
racist.
it's on
set
site
and
when I
shit,
see
like-
you, like racist and sexist and all that. It's on site when I see you.
Fair
So
enough. Shout out to him for
I-
actually being black.
I read that part of their beef did play a role in like what they got, and it makes me think, since all of like Diana's scenes are really cut down and just sexualizing of her, it makes me really think like it was something to that beef, and especially like the way Cyborg is like really not portrayed great in the Sweden cut at all.
For him to play such a big role, they spent absolutely no time on him in the Sweden cut.
At
Oh.
all.
Like he played one of the biggest roles, and it was like y'all just kind of played him like he was just some moody teen, and it was like
exactly. I
no,
was just about
nigga.
to say that.
it's way
When I rewatched it, it was like I don't even care. Like I feel like the only reason you're in this movie is for this one moment, but like
I don't even
care,
think I knew that he was he had been Cyborg for a year in the Sweden cut.
you don't.
Oh,
you
they
don't
skip
know.
They
over
mentioned-
all that
they
stuff.
Skip
mentioned
over
it.
all that, bro.
They mentioned it in this one, and I'm like, oh, damn, I ain't know it had been that long.
They make it like his father just turned him like a week ago, and that's the effect you get. Like he doesn't even know his powers and stuff. Like he just got turned.
But no
And
lie.
it makes it seem like you really here for this one moment at the end of the movie, when really
Exactly.
we didn't even need you, because
Which
Superman
is
pulls
petty.
up and does that moment.
Exactly.
Because you don't even get the build up.
But no lie, when we found out that he's been like that for a year, I'm like, so he did has been in that whole apartment just staring at the window for a whole year. I'm like, damn, my dude literally is in depression right now. Like with
He was doing shit. Like I wish he was fucking spying on me when I'm at the AT.
Right?
I'm
right.
sorry, that's a spoiler, but like that shit was lit. I'm like, this nigga going crazy.
Hey, that was my first thought. Like I've
Hey.
been there, bro. What about me?
Exactly. Oh, my kids, bro.
What
I
about
go to-
me?
I go to the fucking ATM on 95th all the time. Meet me there.
Yeah, meet me there so you could give me like, oh, you want
me?
$100,000? Like, I need that. Like, I still got my stimmy yet. I haven't got no tax return yet. I need that money.
Put $100K in that lady bank account.
Yo, but
Definitely
she
be
was
wet
blessed.
money outside.
Girl was blessed for a
She damn
good
near- she
year
damn near
or
peed
so.
on herself. Son didn't
And
know what the
Shorty,
fuck. was
Shorty
going
ain't
on.
even down bad like me because she's still taking receipts. I don't even get in the receipt. I don't even need.
I don't want to see the receipts. G.
I don't want to see that. I don't need a reminder going with me.
Exactly. Don't fuck that. No receipt.
But
Give me the money
honestly,
I'm asking you for. Damn.
this movie gave so much respect to two characters I'm happy that we got. It was Barry and Cyborg the most because Iris West and everything. Barry's father, Cyborg, to know about his background as a football
Wait,
player and everything.
I don't want to get spoilers. You
I
said
know, but
Iris?
that was Iris.
That was Iris?
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
Iris.
I don't think
That was
that's a
ours.
big spoiler because that footage was released after Whedon's cut. Like it was on the internet. So
Okay.
I
There's
don't-
also
I don't
trailers as
really
well.
think
I
it
didn't.
was,
I figured that was
and
Iris,
it's in the
but I didn't
trailers.
know. I didn't know that they was going to
Yeah.
like make her black in this one too.
I'm
Yeah.
not going
I'm
in
like,
details about
That's
it.
supposed to be Iris.
Yeah, so
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going into details about it. I'm just mentioning what it is that I love about these things that happen in a non-spoiler way. So I love what we saw, and it was amazing to see more in-depth fruition for Cyborg and Flash, because it was amazing to see them actual background understanding of why Barry is the way he is instead. And my dude ran so much better in this film as well. My dude actually looked like he knows how to run instead of just looking like all floppy.
I still didn't care for most of it, but it was better than Whedon's cut.
I still didn't feel for Barry how I wanted to feel about Barry. Like, I didn't feel about Barry how I wanted to feel about Barry, but it still was much better than whatever the fuck Sweden did.
I'm gonna say this: Flash is the only thing that kept me invested in the DCU.
Flash is my favorite.
When I was
DC
younger,
character.
he's my favorite DC character. I'm not 100% cool with how Barry was portrayed. I am okay with the run because of how it's set up in the Snyder film. Where hear me out.
You're tweaking, bro. No,
Barry is not an athlete. Barry is a scientist.
How
have you ever seen a non-athlete run? Like,
that don't mean
I feel like it makes sense.
He's
what I would like to see,
hundreds of miles per hour.
What I would like to see is later on, as he gains better mastery of his powers and he further like develops and gets his stuff together, I would like to see his running form change. I would like to see that. That's what I want to see. I'm just saying from like a story standpoint.
No,
I don't think that he should be running that way. I think it looks weird. I think it looks weak.
I have to defend GB here.
I
have to defend GB here because the Flash in CW.
God, I'm ready to fight all you niggas right
because
now.
In the Flash,
he just got his powers.
The Flash, Grant Gustin did run similar like this.
I would say he was Flash for a couple of years.
He was Flash for a while, nigga.
He was Flash for a couple of years.
Okay, if you've never been an athlete and your hobbies ain't never been athletic,
if I am the Flash, I'm not running where I can easily trip myself all the time.
That boy is probably overthinking it, just trying to do what he thinks is gonna get him through space faster. He being aerodynamic. I want to see development from that. I think that's a good point they can develop on.
But Sensei, GB has a point as well, because look, he has been Flash for years, but he had never had the hero gig where he actually does this for years. He has the Flash powers for years, but he never actually has experience of using them and out in public. He never has actual training.
Fighting stances. We're talking about running. He knows how to run fast enough to break the time.
He has a rule
at will.
Yes, he has a rule of how to do this, but he doesn't know how to do it constantly. He doesn't know how to run.
Yes, he does. He literally turned it on and off. I got this thing where I can.
I don't know where Vash going with this. All I'm saying is he hasn't been in the battle situations and have had to be efficient and had to be on that level with it. He's been a scientist his whole life. He's a nerd that got these speed powers, and so he runs, and maybe this is his perception of how he wants to run. I'm sure after being in these fights now and he sees how vulnerable he is and how down bad he was, he's going to develop. I would like to see that point change, and I would like to see that be a part of his storyline as they move into other Flash films. I think that could be a good thing that builds on. I'm not saying I know where Snyder was going with it, but I feel like it's got to be something to it, because anybody that looks at that run and goes like, "This is how you should run,"
I think at this point it would be a WandaVision moment where if they make it a thing, it is because we talking shit about it, not because
I'm cool with that. And I'm cool with that. I'm cool with us bullying them into making it a storyline, and all of a sudden, like, Flash is working on his form. So
I just love how the chat just said, "How would we know how someone runs to control the speed force, my guy?"
Wait, you talking to me? Is Nova talking to me or GB?
No, he's talking to me.
Oh, I think he's talking to both of us.
Yeah, probably both. Probably.
Because I'm saying if you've been to Flash for years, bro, you should know how to run. Like,
bro,
you're
think of all the dumb shit you learned on your own that you taught yourself by yourself, and then you get around a professional and be like, I look stupid as hell doing this.
If you could move at the speed of light, are you moving at the speed of light skipping to your loo?
I have run fast. I have run fast for years and have tripped on my own self still.
Hey, that just shows how
I got bad ankles.
No, bro.
Someone told me
you're not gonna try to skip to run at 7,000 miles per hour, nigga. No.
Someone told me that it looks like he runs more like a figure skater. And when I look at it from that lens,
it looks like he's trying to.
I like it a little bit more.
He did,
but
say that.
the issue that I have is how he runs in Whedon's cut. Like, he looks really
that's
weird, and I think they were trying to play it up for jokes. Yeah, I think they were trying to play it up for jokes, and I just did not like how he runs at all. Like, I still have my issues. Like in that Iris sequence, the way he like turns and is like his shoes like completely evaporate and everything. Like the way he was moving, it still doesn't work for me. And like GB, like I hope like as he like goes on and learns more about his abilities, that running style would change up because it did not work for me at all.
Sensei be hating, but I feel
That
like
shit
he look
trash.
like I look like he fake trying to swim through the air, like get him some
Bro,
get him
that last
some
I don't want to spoil it, but that last sequence was absolutely ass because of how
It was not my favorite. It was not my
Because of
favorite.
how he was
not.
running.
Speaking of the last sequence, did anybody go to the arcades and play the game Cyclone at the arcades to win tickets?
I'll be right back.
Nah,
The light go around really fast in a circle, and you got to hit the button to stop it on the jackpot.
Sounds familiar. It does sound familiar. It's like I feel like you're trying to touch my old memories and everything.
That last sequence like triggered things in my memory, and I was like, I remember going to the arcade all the time, getting my tickets up, hitting straight jackpots, and that's what they was on. It was a convenient moment for Nerf and Flash at that point. So,
oh yeah,
it was.
But I think we should touch our overall last thoughts of what we think of Zack Snyder Vision, so we could jump into
in a sec. I want to bring up something real quick. So Chief brought up, I also hate his suit. The reason why I have patience with the suit is because this was something that he just made himself with parts that he found laying around all over the place, and he made a suit. Now that he's a part of the Justice League, and we don't really know how this is going to go going forward, but Bruce is going to make him a new friction-proof suit that we will see in the Flash movie. So I'm okay with it because that's his origin, right? Like this is a guy.
Tony Stark and Spider-Man.
Yeah, like he just put it together with whatever he could find. So I'm okay with the suit, knowing that it's going to change. The last thing that I want to talk about real quick, with the Flash is I love that they actually go more into how his speed works in this film. And I also like that he's not a giant fucking coward in this movie like he was in the Whedon's cut.
Yeah.
When it was time to save everyone that was abducted by Steppenwolf and the parademons and everything, Batman had to tell him, save one person. That's bullshit. Barry Allen was a kid that lost his mom. He would understand what it's like. He would understand what it is to fight for something bigger than yourself. Like that's what he's trying to do for his dad.
Spoiler or not?
No, I don't think
that scene was the same for the most part.
No, it wasn't.
What?
That whole Batman save one shit.
I'm talking about the sewer scene. I thought that was what you meant.
I just mean like the way it went.
It's way different. And then on top of that, one more thing that I wanted to talk about, last thing, is how the parademons are portrayed in general in this cut versus the Sweden cut. So I feel like in the Whedon cut, this was just like a stupid executive note. It's like, well, by the end of the movie, we want Steppenwolf to leave the planet because he was afraid of the Justice League instead of them whooping his ass.
So it's
so the entire time, the parademons in the Whedon cut, it's like, they smell fear. That's bullshit. That is fucking bullshit, and I hate it.
That was crazy. I rewatched the Sweden cut, and that whole movie, they smell fear. They react to fear. It's all about fear. Then
and in this one, it was like more about
at the end of the movie, Batman turns on the fucking siren on the Batmobile, and all of a sudden they care about noise.
Yeah, it's like a fear frequency. What the fuck is that?
They're all coming now. They hear the police siren. They hear the ops, and they chasing me down.
But no lie, that fight with the parademons, they actually look better as well, more detailed,
way better.
Yeah, like the design and everything, like, and it doesn't look like always so dark where you have to actually see how good they look. They actually look menacing, scary as well. Where a lot of people on the Star Labs and other places, you should actually get scared of them if you're just a normal human and everything. So props to that, because I was actually like, if I faced a parademon myself, I'll be shooting bricks. I'll peel myself. Yeah, that's just scary.
You think if you was one-on-one with a parademon, you can give him some hands? Like, you might not win, but you think you'll give him like a hit or two?
A couple.
I would not try. I'll grab a table. Like, I'm hoping it's a weapon.
Them niggas can fly. Second of all, them niggas got laser guns.
Yeah,
I'm not going.
No, I'm talking
Kill me.
1-on-1. Just these, son.
Just these.
So you're telling me that I could land a hit, but will I survive? Hell no.
I think they damn near catching my
You to
punch.
live at all. I know you did, but like, you think you can get some hits in just so in heaven you could be like, I mean, I got a couple hits.
I'll get hits in if they let me get hits in.
I'll give probably 3 hits with my quick uppercut.
They gotta just be
like,
like standing there looking at me like, wait, no,
that's it. Maybe 3 hits I could give. That's it. And after that, most likely I'm dead and not being saved. I'm just a regular person. So,
And you know how dumb I feel if a motherfucker let you hit them just so they can kill you. That time could have been used running away. I could use that time.
Nova actually brings up another good point. So in Whedon's cut, when the parademons blow up, their resonance forms like a mother box symbol, which was like the dumbest fucking thing ever. I'm like, dude, the audience isn't stupid. We don't need all of these different references to get what the mother boxes are. In the Aquaman sequence, when Batman goes to find Aquaman in the beginning, that's also different from the Whedon cut. In the Whedon cut, different. There was
it's
this
on the wall, right?
Yes, there's this painting on the wall in this random town. Why would they know anything about the mother boxes? That's not where Aquaman lives.
They got Aquaman as God.
Yeah,
it's all 3 mother boxes. Like, why is Aquaman the only God here, and he only got 1 mother box? Why are all 3 sitting on this wall?
Yeah, he's never lived in Atlantis. No other Atlantean has been to this place. So why would they have the legend of the 3 mother boxes? It doesn't make any sense.
And also, props to this movie for the score and the music. The actual vocals throughout this whole movie of the OST and the score, it was beautiful. It's something that I really love and want to really give props to throughout the whole film. Like, every time they played the score of the Amazons, Gao, in the beginning when the people of that town of where Bruce and Aquaman was, it was just so beautiful. The singing, it was just amazing. Like, I just want to really give that quick shout out for that because it was amazing. It was beautiful. So it was just so fantastic to hear.
Yeah, man. Like, overall, go ahead, GB.
No, I was just saying I felt like it was a little heavy at first, like a little bit overdone at first, but once I settled into the movie, it all works.
Yeah, it didn't bother me 2 hours in. The first hour in, I was like, all right, G, y'all gotta play.
Damn, bro, that's a lot of music. Like,
yeah, I'm like, it's a lot of singing.
G. It's a lot of singing.
And plus, Aquaman every time taking off his shirt.
And it was really because the
go back in the water.
Dragged, but that was the thing. Like, for me, I can't speak for GB. For me, it was like the scenes went longer than I thought they needed to, so the singing felt longer.
I got you. Vash, what is it called when, like, it may not be a term for this, but you go out as a team and you take like 10 different shots of the same scene from different angles to see, so you can later see which one you like the best?
Yeah.
Does that have a term?
Right at the moment, I do not remember it, but most likely there is.
So, I don't think it does.
I think that's what Sensei is like griping about. So it feels like if he took 10 shots for a certain scene,
don't use 10 shots.
Let's say the car is pulling up. Don't take 6 of those 10 shots and show it in different ways of that car pulling up every time. Like, I think that's what he's saying is stretched out, right?
The car situation is the only thing that I'll give a pass to because they needed product placement to pay for the movie.
Funny as hell.
True.
I never thought about the product placement, but when he pulled up in them
with a Mercedes,
I was like,
Mercedes, I'm like, this should look good.
Mercedes paid a nice ticket. They came across the front of the car and everything.
Yeah.
When he pulls off from the warehouse with Flash, they don't really give that car justice in the Whedon cut. It's just like he just goes. And that's it. But when you see that shit zip up and on the ramp and it's gone,
you be like, them, bro. I'm like, damn, that shit look good.
It's definitely a concept car.
And I know that street, so I'm just looking like, bro, he just did that on that ramp. I definitely want to go hit that too.
Funny.
Yeah, so that's the only thing I'll give the pass to. Like, Sensei, I get it. Like, some scenes might have gone on a little bit too long, but it is what it is, man. Like, that's what Zack wanted.
It is what it is.
Cool with it.
Yeah,
but
I understand it. For what he was going for the format that he was planning on putting this out on, it makes sense and it works. You know damn well that could not work in a theater. No,
yes,
it's not a lot. It's not a lot of people that are gearing up to go see a 4-hour movie.
I would go for an 8-hour movie. Like cinema
I'm
is my life.
1,000,000% not
Same.
going to see.
I would, and I found this because for
I would have to
Tiffany-
get paid to see an 8-hour movie.
The reason me and
What?
Jordan found this because this is a Justice League film. Like if it's done right, storytelling and written for each character that has its purpose and story development, then it's there. But I was gonna actually one question before we go with this topic. What do you guys feel about the slow mo? Do you feel like it was overused? Were you guys fine with it, or were you guys tired of it after by the end of the film? Because me myself, I was not. I like slow mo. If you guys have ever seen any of the anime reactions, I like slow mo. I feel like it just gives it more of a entertainment value. Of course, if you do it every 10 scenes or every scene out there, then yeah, it gets overused. But if it's done well and it's entertaining, I enjoyed it. How do you guys feel about it?
You doing product testing on us, Vash?
Maybe. Just in the future, once I have my own film, I'm like, should I do a lot more slow mo or should I do more slow mo here? What should I do about this? But yes, if I do have films in the future, just know I will have slow mo shots in my film. Just know that right now.
Slow mo is tricky for me. I remember like when the Matrix and Max Payne era, and everyone was trying to do slow mo bullet shot scene cuts and everything. Was overdone. I didn't really feel like it was overdone for this movie. I think maybe like 1 or 2 times I could have did with less slow mo, but it didn't like bother me.
It bothered me, not 100% of the time, but there were multiple times where I felt like this doesn't need to be this slow for this long. Mostly the flash scenes, which I understand why they made the flash scenes slower. It still felt bad, and I really felt the way because of this nigga run. Like the way this nigga move is so awkward that I don't want to see you moving like this for this fucking long.
The flash scenes are the 2 scenes it bothers me too, because it's like I
But
get
even-
slow mo, like we can see it, but like sometimes I just want to see lightning. Like sometimes I just want to see, I just want boom. Like I don't really want to see Flash. I want to get a real feel of how fast Flash really is. Like I just want to see him be moving and then he just trip and be out of it.
Yeah, like it's okay to have scenes like that.
Yeah, it's cool.
You know what I'm saying?
I'd be
So
okay
like,
with it.
Understandable.
I will say I like that the whole scene where Flash is running at top speed
I was
and
right
then he
notes down for
trips
that.
and Batman instantly like shoots the grappling hook and catches him by the ankle while he's moving at like the speed of light almost. I'm glad that wasn't like that's gone. I hated that scene. And
Generally-
this week, I hated that scene.
I also hated that scene.
Because like who the
Generally-
fuck is Batman to do that?
funny as hell. I think there's a there's a certain perfection to slow mos. I don't know what it is, but I've seen perfectly timed slow mo scenes, and I've seen like slow mo transitions that work, mostly with DMC, like video game. I think video games get it right. Movies have a harder time doing slow mo scenes. Not just DC. I'm not just singling out DC. Like I think movies in general have a harder time doing slow mo scenes. Video games get it right. Maybe it's because it's easier to transition from slow to fast in video games, or slow to regular, like slow to regular tempo. But like DMC is a game that gets, I don't want to say criticized, but it gets a lot of notice for how much slow mo is in it. Like every action scene is gonna have a slow mo moment or multiple slow mo moments.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the thing, they break it off into moments. So it's like, doom, do something, doom, like that. You know what I mean? So it's not like doom.
It
These
just
Michael Bay
Or
scenes
several
that you
for
got, bro.
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
It
Like
just-
I got you.
It just depends on each director. Zack just wanted to show
Probably.
how fast he is. So hopefully in the next like James mentioned before, hopefully in his origin film, the main focus on the Flash. Hopefully we don't see every single slow mo scene of the Flash. Like I said, I enjoy it for what it was, and if the Flash, cool. Like out of the 100 times we see him run throughout his own film, if we see 25 or 20 slow-mos, all right, cool, that's a good amount. That's 20% out of the 100. But we see 80% of the slow-mos, like, okay, this was overused. So the director and the storyboard and the writer just needs to find a good amount and balance of what needs to be slow mo. Like the most important is like if he's fighting Zoom, some shots when he fights Dawn and everything, those need to be a bit slow mo and everything because that would be very nice to see. But then the rest don't need to be, slow mo. Just be fast with them. Yellow here, red here, streaks.
But see, that's the thing. Exactly.
I don't know if I'm saying this the right way, but with Flash, I would appreciate if they play with speeding up his environment rather than slowing him.
Yes, I was literally finna just say that, bro.
Y'all can really say it, but like you can speed up the environment around him to show how fast he's moving without slowing him down.
Yeah, or slow down the environment and let him move regularly. Like actually regularly, because he be moving slow in his slow mo and like when he's using the speed, and it's like, no, you move regular or fast.
Yeah,
so
I'm with Sensei on this, because when you look at how Barry's powers work in the DCEU, he's not using the Speed Force in the traditional way that Barry does, right? He's using it the way that Zoom in the comics does, where he enters the Speed Force space and he gives the illusion of super speed because everything is different within that space. Mm-hmm. So with that knowledge, I would have preferred with everything around him being pretty much super slow and then him moving normal, and then I'm okay for like the running sequences. He can look really, really fast, like that end sequence that I won't spoil, right. But that I'm completely okay with him running fast in like a sequence like that. But like in the other sequences, like I wish he would be going, like everything around him would be slower. But we could talk about the Snyder Cut forever. We will be doing a full deep dive spoilers discussion with the entire crew from the Popaholics podcast on April 2nd. So make sure you guys are subscribed and stay tuned for that. I want to talk about the Falcon and the Winter Soldier premiere. I want us to spend the last 30 minutes, 40 minutes talking about this, because I thought this premiere was really, really strong. Oof. I love that this premiere gave great characterization to Sam Wilson and to Bucky Barnes as characters. And then we'll eventually get those amazing fight sequences that we know are coming. But that was something that I really, really appreciated between Sam and Bucky. Like Sam, it's all about like the responsibility of having to take on that mantle of Cap and him feeling like he's not ready, and Bucky dealing with accountability and making amends for all of the things that he's done in his past that he was never in control of, but he remembers all of that trauma. So Sensei, I want to start with you. What were some of your like basic thoughts about the premiere in general, and then we'll go into deep spoilers?
Absolutely loved it. A friend of mine said this, and I echo it. Shout out to Take God. We basically both went into or are going into the Falcon and Winter Soldier series with the thought that if you could make me care about Falcon in any way, shape, or form, make his character any type of likable, any type of like I care about you, you will have won me over. And they have done that in the first episode for me. So I absolutely love it. I love how gritty and real they're getting with the Falcon. They're not trying to make him some whitewashed fucking Marvel character. They letting this shit be real. The nigga is in the bank fucking begging for a loan like a lot of niggas need to do. Like, you know what I mean? Like they address his level of fame in this superhero shit. They kind of get realistic with it with like,
where's your money?
You don't have no fucking income. Like, was Stark giving you money all this fucking time? Like, you know what I mean? He's like, well, it kind of don't work like that. And it's like, well, how the fuck do it work, nigga? You know what I mean? Like,
I don't know. You tell me,
because you're not fucking Tony Stark, and he not walking in this bitch to tell you, I got it. You know what I mean? Like, so you got a real situation on your hands, and I love that they really got into that. His dialogue with his sister, I absolutely loved. Like getting into how his family shit was going, I fucked with. And this is outside of the action sequence, which I fucked with in the beginning. Like, I love that whole flight sequence. And I never was a fan of like how he fought, but I imagine this series would make me kind of fuck with it a little more. And yeah, that shit was cold. How they did that shit. I'm sure they're gonna expound upon that a little bit later. The Winter Soldier going to therapy shit. I don't want to. Yeah, I'm breaking it down. I fuck with how they doing the Winter Soldier. I feel like they spent a little bit more time with Falcon in this episode specifically, but I'm going into it before they started giving me the Falcon shit. I was more interested in the Winter Soldier because I'm like, I fuck with Bucky more than I fuck with Falcon, so I was more interested in his story. But I really am interested to see how these two stories are going to collide, how they're going to mesh well with each other. Like you said, the story of redemption, the story of understanding what you've done and getting, forgiving not only or other motherfuckers forgiving you, but you forgiving yourself. And then the story of the, acceptance and stepping into the role that you know that you need to for the betterment of not only you, but the rest of the fucking world. I can't wait to see that story collide. I fuck with these characters together as a whole. I'm very excited to see where this shit goes. So far, I think they're setting it up really fucking well.
Hell yeah, GB.
Echoing a lot of what Sensei had to say. Really love the Falcon as a character. I really appreciate this first episode of how they got into him. To add on to what Sensei said about Falcon, I really felt like he gave me, nigga in corporate vibes, dealing with the government.
We're gonna figure this shit out. Oh,
yeah.
Are we, nigga? Are we?
I felt a lot of that. Like decisions is happening around you, and it's looking like I thought I was a part of this, but I'm realizing I ain't really in with the good old boys, and they making moves without me. I appreciate that part of it. As a black man that struggles with depression from time to time, I think I'm going to relate to both of these characters a lot. So I'm very excited to see what they get into with Bucky Barnes. For Bucky and Falcon, I love the dynamic that they've already established. Same shit, different toilet, where Bucky is trying to figure his life out after all these years of being Bucky Barnes and then the Winter Soldier and now back to Bucky Barnes. And Falcon also has the blip he has to contend with. So they're both trying to find self and pull their lives back together after all this time went missing and make amends and make things right. Just with one person, with Falcon right now, you're seeing it more family and it seems on a smaller level. And Bucky is just more methodical right now with having a list of everything he has going on. But I feel like it's the same. I read that the director that did John Wick is also doing this, or someone that did John Wick is also a part of this project.
I haven't seen a single John Wick movie.
What?
Oh, you are big tweaking, bro.
You are tweaking.
Dude,
go
they
watch
are
them.
black movies I haven't seen either. So if this surprises you,
I mean, I knew you weren't hip on the black movies, but I thought you was hip on John Wick, bro.
Yo, John Wick is one of the best.
If you like action movies with amazing fight sequences, it doesn't get better than John Wick. And to me, it gets better with each sequel, which is insane. The third one is my favorite,
bro.
The third one is my favorite, bro. It's amazing.
Okay, I'm gonna have to. Is it on any streaming platforms that you guys know of? Or
I know HBO Max or
John
Amazon
Wick
has them.
It's on HBO Max or it's not? It is.
Yeah,
okay, I'm not checking them out. All of them or just
they're spread out.
Probably all of them. So I read that they're a part of this project somehow, and I really felt that when I watched the opening scene with Falcon. I felt the close corners, the way that the camera pans and turns on these sharp angles. I felt Falcon's movements, the speed and pace at which the fight was going. I didn't feel it so much when I watched Bucky Barnes do his little routine on the steps with the Russian soldiers. I felt like that was a little kind of sloppy and dry to me. I didn't know if the right choreo went into that, but it didn't convince. It wasn't what I expected to see from, Bucky as the Winter Soldier. But I definitely felt that when I was watching the Falcon scene. Love the way that his wings are really integrated into his fight style now. And that was just impressive to me all around.
Excuse me.
The last thing I really like, and to kind of pull WandaVision in there too, I like how they're dealing with the world as a whole, how people are forced to contend with things after the blip. And so whether it's a recession or global pandemic or anything else that happens, you see businesses and people and everyone else respond. So I love the way they brought that in, and dude at the bank is before I probably could have worked with you, but things tightened up after that. We got 5 billion people that's back in the world.
What you think was going to happen?
Yeah, what you thought was going to happen, bro. Instead of 1%, we got 0.2%.
And then you think, bro, and then you think about that, it's you would think that an Avenger would have plug why can't you can't ask Shuri to fix your boat? Like, no, you can't ask Shuri to fix your boat. Like, you can't just hit up your homies and tell them to just do shit because it's bigger things on their plate.
Yeah, it's hella other shit happening, and I think that's putting it all in perspective of the world for you. Also, another thing is like really considering the good guy factor for these people, because like a thought in my mind is like, oh, knock this whole bank over. Fuck you mean I can't get this loan? Like,
bro, hey, I don't want to get into spoilers yet because we ain't got that, but that shit had me weak as hell. Go ahead, G.
But yeah, all in all, I love it. I love that they have put these two characters next to each other. I really want to see where they go. It's only 6 episodes, right?
Is it?
Yes.
Yeah, it's only 6 episodes.
What's the next joint that come out after this?
It's Loki, but that would be
Loki
a month
in
after.
June.
In
Yeah.
June.
Yeah,
So this is
June
only gonna
11th.
be
So there's
6
nothing
episodes?
in between. There's nothing in between this
Nothing.
and Loki. Okay, I'm with
So
that.
I'm a little nervous if they can
It's just Black Widow.
really
if you want to
get
add the
everything
movie,
else.
Yeah,
out
that's what I
in
was
the
asking.
6
What
episodes,
what Phase 4 shit is happening between?
it's just Black Widow. Yeah.
So Black
Yeah.
Widow comes out in May.
May, yeah.
Still proclaimed to come out in May. It hasn't gotten pushed yet, no delay yet.
I
And
think
then
that movie been
Loki
done.
is
They
the
was just waiting
summertime
when to
joint.
drop it.
Oh yeah, because
Oh, yeah.
make
I mean, it
money
was supposed
over
to-
the season and everything.
Yeah, I think
Yeah, it
that
was
movie
supposed to be
been
out April of last year,
done. Yeah,
but
Yeah,
COVID.
it was-
that movie been done. They just want to make sure they can get their money for dropping it.
Correct.
Like they
Hell yeah.
not trying to waste.
Do you
You
think?
know what I'm saying?
Quick side thing. Do you think with them holding out for you, do you think they actually, fix the VFX? Add more, added more, nice CG,
Honestly, don't.
or do you think like, hey, we're done, they're not gonna worry about it?
I don't think.
No, I think they just had a timeline. It was like, we kind of want these films to drop at this point with these TV shows to create like.
Well, I think they had to I
for
think they had to
viewers.
make that. I don't think they had the schedule for the TV shows yet. Like early last year, like
They
January-
did. Last year, the original show that was supposed to come out first was not WandaVision. The original first that was supposed to come out first was actually Falcon and the Winter
Yeah,
Soldier.
it was supposed to be Falcon and Winter Soldier first.
Was it? But when?
Yeah.
What date?
September last year or August last year.
Something like that, yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. I feel like
They
'Cause
had
by
the date, but then with the pandemic and had the COVID and everything, they had to push because they were still finish your post production, CG to VFX. So they didn't have that in time because people had to be home and everything. So that's why they pushed everything for next year so they could have things ready and not rush over. So like,
So I guess my question is, how are they gonna? And I think that's probably everybody's question. How are they gonna tie in this this Black Widow shit to everything else?
well,
if
Black
they
Widow.
would?
I
Black
mean,
Widow still
it
presented
ties
before.
it ties into everything else because like it takes place like around Civil War. So it's like for all of these other shows, all of that shit has already
Does it?
happened.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I thought
bro.
this was her origin story.
Oh nah, this takes place
No,
like
this is
around Civil War.
Mid of all the shit.
Yeah. This
Yeah.
was well, this is her origin
my mind?
of this is her origin of how she became Black Widow, but this is her movie.
No, it's not. It's not her origin, bro. It takes place around Civil War. She's been Black Widow for years.
No. That I know, but I'm saying that we find out how she became throughout the movie because we find out about the Soviets and everything. Like, we find out why she was chosen as Black Widow.
Okay,
and
yeah.
everything.
So we'll get
That's
more
what I meant
information
more.
about the Black Widow program.
Yeah, sorry, that's what I meant more, James. Thank you for
Oh,
the correction.
It's not
In
her.
my
It's not her
mind-
true origin story though.
Correct, yeah.
In my mind, I'm like, they're doing this movie so that they can introduce a villain that will be prominent in future movies.
Most
I
likely,
think so. Yeah, Taskmaster.
Taskmaster.
Iron
he better
Maiden.
not die.
Like those,
He better not die.
those are
Probably
yeah.
introduce a villain and probably introduce like a new concept that's probably gonna show up in the TV shows. I would assume.
Yeah.
So that was what I was thinking, but I definitely thought it was an origin story. Thank y'all for letting me know that it's not.
Of course.
Yeah.
Especially
Vash,
like oh, go ahead, Vash.
Or go ahead, JB, so you can tell Vash some shit.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, go ahead and give your general thoughts so we can get into spoilers because I'm ready.
He said, "I'm ready."
Honestly, I'd rather us get to spoilers. Like, as much as I could say, my general thoughts, I enjoyed it. It far exceeded my expectations. But I'd rather get into spoiler conversation, James. I'd rather us jump to because I want to jump into a topic that really shocked me. Like, I guess twist is the guy he was hanging out with in the apartment building is the Asian son he killed, and then you finding out that us the audience finding out that was the father, but he was atoning for his sin, but he never had the chance to actually speak up because he feels that weight on his shoulder is so heavy that he can actually speak up about it, and knowing that his father would never find out what it is, and will Bucky actually admit it? Because this feels like it's been eating up, because he has nightmares, and like our boy Sensei said, he still cannot tell the whole therapist of the truth about the nightmares. And I love the shot it filmed. The shot was always focusing on his face, like right down the side of his sideburn and everything. That shot was beautiful because it shows that he still has not overcome over his shadow, showing that whole type of cinematography was beautiful, showing that Bucky cannot let go of his shadow of his past. That's why it was shot like that. Beautiful type of stuff for that.
Yeah, let's just jump into full spoilers. Like this opening sequence, I loved it. Like it's so reminiscent of the Winter Soldier movie. Oh my god, the briefing on the plane, the way that Sam jumps out of the plane, the fact that he has another fight with Batroc, with
that kicking nigga. Yeah, I'm that's that same nigga.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. You guys already briefly mentioned like just like the flying mechanics of Falcon and it being way different than anything that we've seen in the MCU. Like watching them like fly through the canyon, like that entire sequence was dope. Like, what did you guys think?
And plus, he had Red Wing finally from the comics. I'm like, that's dope as well.
He's had Red Wing since Civil War, but it hasn't been upgraded to this point.
Correct.
Yeah, it hasn't been doing
like,
shit how you been.
And plus, this useful actually for one. So like, this Red Wing is actually has a missile, has a laser, like a whole laser at them. Like this,
damn near a mind of its own. He was controlling it before.
Yeah, like, he was like dope.
Controlling it.
It had this one has like AI, like he's giving it like complex commands, and it's just going off and doing its own thing. The flight through the canyon, the flight through the canyon, the pilot in me was upset at certain parts of it. Like, yo, that defies the laws of physics. That's not how flight works. But the fan in me was like, go crazy, bro. Like when he does the wing grapple hug and does the tight spiral in between the canyon, that shit is beautiful. And then when the wings spread again, it's like that's exactly how a bird of prey will do like a deep dive and, you know, catch his prey and then go right back into spread wing to like kill his momentum. So like he's very conscious about that. I love how fluid his flight is with the wings and how they really mimic a lot of bird patterns. I think that's important for the Falcon. I would hate if he was stiff and it followed all like aerodynamic airplane rules, because that would be different. And it's why I'm not trying to get too upset about the pilot part of it. But I love how fluid it was in the fight. I say my favorite part of all of that would have to be the last scene where he like goes through the middle. Because my only thought was like, how do you know this motherfucker's not buckled in, bro? Like, what if you hit him and literally like you just ripped the top half of his body off because he buckled in or some shit?
That's a really good point, dude. I didn't even think about that.
And was that the only one that's actually rooting for Sam to actually get the guy? Like I was hoping that he would go.
You was hoping that they would go to the what was it? What airspace was they?
I forgot what airspace, but like I was hoping for Sam, like
Libya airspace or something.
Yeah, most likely. But like I was screaming at the screen like, Sam, go get him! Don't cross the border! You got this, Sam. Let's go!
I wasn't screaming, but I figured he was gonna get him. I didn't know how though.
Yeah.
For me, I love the sequence like through and through. Like I love not only his like aerodynamics and all of that shit that GB was just talking about, but like his brutality. Like I love like the scene when he was that one dude was like going toe to toe with this nigga in the air, and then he ended up throwing this nigga into like a canyon wall, like a fucking, and then he just popped his wings out and stood there like, yeah, nigga, no, I can stop right here.
That was sick.
I'm like, okay, nigga, okay, I see you. Using the missiles to blow up the fucking helicopters and shit. I'm like, okay, yeah, this nigga going crazy, bro. He's going crazy. He was calm and collected the whole time.
When he swooped back and shot past the one helicopter and that missile came and hit him, I was like, oh, you going crazy, bro. You
literally going crazy, bro, because he was like really going through it trying to dodge these shits. And he like, oh, no, fuck that. I'm finna just go across the face of this fucking helicopter. And I'm gonna have this missile catch, you know what I'm saying, catch his ass in the back end. I'm like, damn, okay.
But that's what I meant earlier about DC. Marvel has always done a good job about capturing like weight and destruction.
Bro,
and what's going on.
I have to ask this question because I ask my friends all of this question all the time, and they can never. Well, I don't want to say they can never give me a straight answer, but I want to hear you niggas answer. Who in your opinion has better action sequences? Marvel,
Compared
who?
to
Marvel, or
Marvel,
DC?
they're more believable,
My friends believe it is DC.
and they tweaking.
DC.
I want to hear y'all explanation though.
DC.
DC has good choreography, but because it doesn't have the believability and the weight and everything else behind it, I don't get
They're
as invested
gods.
in them.
It's hard to compare. They're gods. Shazam,
They just need
Aquaman,
to
they're
do
water.
better with their production. I don't want to hear no excuses. They need to do better with their production. I don't even care about that because Snyder just did it. So everything else, you're defending the Sweden cut for the past 5 years of your life, and now you
I did not. I did not
now you
defend it
want
for the
the
past
Snyder
5 years.
cut
I
wrong?
did not. I did not defend it for the past 5 years. I said I was being optimistic about it. Like it's you know,
That's defended.
It's cool.
He was defending, bro.
alright.
You was defending it. You was caping. But yeah, like I now that I've seen it happen in the Snyder cut, I'm even less open to the excuses I've got in the past. Like, oh, they're too strong to show that, because like you can show weight, you can show destruction, you can show like a true scale to their powers. And he did that in his film. And Marvel's always done a great job of doing that, of showing like a scaling factor. So you as the viewer not only have a dope action fight scene, but you're also sitting there like really understanding like what this would mean if it happened in real life too.
JB.
Man, overall, I would have to pick Marvel,
Okay.
but I will say the Batman fight sequence from BVS is better than anything in the MCU.
Anything?
Yep.
And
In
that's
my-
the
in my
thing
opinion.
that I argue about so much.
In the
Yeah.
in the warehouse.
I think the best. I think
Yeah,
the
in the
best.
warehouse.
fight-
Yeah, bro.
I think the best.
Yeah,
fight-
bro.
that is good. That is good.
shit's
The
beautiful.
choreography of that fight scene is off the
And
chart.
I agree, but I think the best fight sequence for me in the MCU is Winter Soldier
Oh yeah,
in the streets.
when him and Cap are fighting in the street,
in the
right?
street,
Oh,
right?
hell yeah.
yeah.
So it's always those two for comparisons for me, and I always go with Winter Soldier. But I hear a lot of people say, "Nah, bro, it's the Batman."
Oh, yeah, Sensei,
Bro,
you will love
the
John Wick.
BVS, oh yeah.
You're gonna
The
love John
BVS, oh yeah, all of that in camera, no shaky cam bullshit, no a bunch of cuts, just like straight up like 6 minutes
It's just
of
action.
straight
Ooh.
up hand to hand combat. That's what I'm talking about. So that fight sequence in the warehouse, because Batman fights like 10, 12 dudes at the same time, bro, and it's all in camera. So that's why it gets the slight edge to me. The fight sequence in Wonder Woman, the No Man's Land sequence, when she gets across the entire field and she's fucking everyone up in that little town, like that's also like something that's way up there for me. So I mean,
And
again,
Man of Steel as well.
overall, and Man of Steel, something that like GB brought up earlier on in the show, where he talked about just like the weight of these types of characters and the devastation that they would cause in their fights. That's why I think like Man of Steel is one of the best comic book movies ever made, but that's another episode. But overall, I technically will give it to Marvel, but I think like that Batman sequence in BVS is the best.
But you think on a scale weighing all of the action sequences for Marvel and all of the action sequences
I'll give it to MCU.
for DC.
But are we
going
also
with Marvel.
counting? Are we also counting Marvel Netflix shows, aka Daredevil, other shows? Also
That
DC.
fucking-
DC
Bro,
also has
every
Arrow
season
and other
of
shows as well.
Daredevil, every season of Daredevil has a fucking
It has a hallway scene.
a single cut hallway scene, or a fucking because the last season had like a whole jail escape sequence.
Yeah.
Nigga, there's
Daredevil
nothing-
always reminds me of have you guys seen what is it, Old Boy?
Mm-hmm.
I've heard of it,
those
but
single-
The original. I refuse
The
to watch
original?
the American version. I refuse.
The original.
It's based- it's pretty
Daredevil
much based
scenes
off
give,
that.
Yeah, give me that, and I'm
Yeah.
always sitting there like, let's go.
Bro,
But if you had the
that's-
I would keep Iron Fist off the list. That was some of the worst.
They didn't have time, man. They didn't have time.
Yeah,
Like the
I'm
dude,
not
the
gonna-
dude
I'm
was
not even-
cast,
you know me.
and he had like 4 months to like
Is that
get
what it
ready
was?
to
I don't know the
start
behind
filming.
the scenes with
I
Iron
don't know
Fist. I
behind
just
the
sat down and
scenes.
watched it one day and
he was
didn't
not
like it.
ready.
It
He was
wasn't-
not ready.
it wasn't the
And
best.
also-
But I don't think it was ass chips and gravy. G.
Yeah,
was not ready, GB. It was
I
not ready.
enjoyed Iron
I-
Fist for what it was.
I enjoyed it exactly, JB. I enjoyed it for what it was. I don't think it was the best shit ever. I don't think it's.
It deserves to be better because he's Iron Fist on the
Sure.
comics. He is the strongest.
Yeah.
He's one of the top 10 most compacted from Marvel. But in the show, it did not show that, and every time this dude show on screen, he's like, "I'm the Master Kung Lan. I am Danny Rand."
But I'm Danny Rand.
Like,
But
no,
I'm
my
Danny.
I didn't get it at all. To take that back, I feel like me looking at that Winter Soldier scene and thinking like it was kind of
That shit
slow and
cold.
sloppy. Maybe
Wait,
maybe
what?
he wasn't like
Wait. Which Winter Soldier scene? You talking about in the Falcon and Winter Soldier?
I'm talking about in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Okay, I'm like, nigga,
Oh,
there's
okay,
no
okay.
way you thought that shit was sloppy.
It wasn't
That
up
shit
to
was
par of what I
cold.
expected from him, considering what I've seen from him. So maybe he was getting back in his rhythm and he wasn't ready for that scene when they filmed it. And so, yeah, like, but I don't think that that's going to be an indicator of what the rest of his fight scenes will look like for the rest of the series. But I didn't necessarily like the one that was in this first episode. And I think there was only two major like fight scenes we had was that and Falcon, right?
And then Buddy, the police officer getting his ass beat.
Yeah. We'll get there in a sec. I want to talk to you guys. Like, how do you feel about Falcon giving up the shield? Like, Sensei, I want to start with you.
His ass was tweaking, bro, and that kind of bothered me. I'm like, damn, nigga, you gave it back. So like when I saw that, I started thinking about how the story would go. And, you know,
Same.
comic brain. I'm like, all right, so which direction are y'all trying to take this? Because now y'all finna have to steal the fucking shield back. Like, you look like a goofy now, because especially at the end where, you know what I'm saying, they're showing how, like, the fact that they've replaced Captain America at this point, which kind of bothered me because I wanted to see I thought it was gonna be a funeral in the from the trailer.
I also thought it was going to be a funeral.
I thought it was going to be a funeral too.
From the trailer, but it didn't seem like that. So it seems like that Super Bowl scene is gonna be this new nigga going up there, you know what I mean? So that kind of bothered me. I'm like, at least hold down my man's shield, like,
Right?
Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like you feel like it belongs to somebody else, but the nigga told you it don't. It's yours. Like,
I got
that bothered me because even Iron Man's sidekick, I forgot what's his name, War Machine even asked him, like, saying, like, why didn't you take it? Like, why didn't you
take up the
back?
mantle? Like,
And like Steve gave this to you. He didn't give it back to the government. He chose to give it to
he
you.
ain't give it to me. He ain't give it to Bucky. He
He gave it to you. Like, you, my guy Sam. And like for Sam to give it back to government, and then literally like 2 days, 3 days later, the whole government announced it. We have this another white guy here becoming Captain America, and Sam was like feeling so much guilt. I'm like, yeah, this is the shit that you just fuck up. Now you have to go take it back.
So when I said earlier that it gave me like corporate black man vibes, like I resonated with the fact that imposter syndrome, right? So one thing that's been about Falcon's character in the movies and what we know about him before this is like he's been a little bit of that straight arrow. He has like a slight edge to him, but he really tries to like do things by the book and do what he feels is right. And also that imposter syndrome of him not feeling like he could be the symbol for America. Like, I want to see if they explore that. Like, they're really letting him explore his black side with the sister and the family. I want to see if they explore, like, was he comfortable being the symbol for America at that time? Like, what is his decision-making process when he gave that shield up? And so for him saying, like, I feel like it belongs to someone else can mean a number of things. And I definitely took imposter syndrome and, like, I don't feel like I'm America. Like, I don't feel like I'm this country's symbol of hope and peace and justice. I'm probably the opposite to most of the people that look at me. But you, blonde hair, blue eyed Captain America man, or what it was, it needs another you. So kind of like that changing of the guards type thing. Like he'll have to have that moment of acceptance and coming to himself to be able to like own up to that. So I definitely felt like he was tweaking, but I get it. Like it worked for me. But I would have definitely been War Machine too, walking around like, hey bro, what you doing, dog? Like he just gave you the best.
An Avenger,
he gave you the promotion.
Bro, as an Avenger off back, I'm not giving no fucking vibranium shield to the government. Like, I'm just not. G.
And plus also, if you learn anything from Black Panther, don't put anything in the museum. People gonna rob that shit. That's what they did in Black Panther. He literally
Killmonger finna pull up and had a shield on.
And literally say, no, I'm just digging it.
Yeah,
so
I'm gonna take that back.
What Nova brought up, like, Nova thinks that Sam was manipulated into doing it because they were already setting up John Walker's Captain U.S. Agent. It's U.S. Agent.
Yeah.
So they were already setting it up I don't know if they manipulated him into doing it. I think they definitely asked him, but I'm leaning more towards like what GB is saying. Like, I just think that Sam didn't feel like he was ready to be the symbol of
Oh
America,
yeah.
like the to be the exact symbol that Steve was. But my biggest issue is that Steve was against the government. You know what you went through in Civil War where they locked you up, bro. Like, Steve doesn't trust the government, which is why he didn't give it to them and he gave it to you. If you didn't feel like you were ready, put the shield down, put it somewhere,
He
and then
definitely could have
pick
put
it
it in the
up when
U-Haul.
you're ready. Exactly, right? Like,
Put it in
pick
the
it up
U-Haul so
when
you're ready
you're
for it.
ready to pick up
You
the mantle.
literally could have just put it in the closet, bro.
Don't give it to the government to put into the Smithsonian, and now US agent has the shield. Like, that really pissed me off, bro. Like, he could have kept it.
But at the same time, it's supposed to piss off because by
Yes,
episode
MAGA
2,
cat.
3, they're gonna fight. He's gonna get the shield back and everything. So I like it's like Sensei said, like once we all saw that scene, once we all saw like, okay, how is it from what we saw in the trailer that he's gonna be training with the shield with Bucky? How are we gonna get there? What's the reason? Like, what is the story plan that's gonna provide us to get there in that field? So that's what I'm curious to know as well. Like, where
Personally, oh, go ahead. I thought you were done. Go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say like where are we gonna lead up to? Like what is gonna be the confrontation between Agent USA
Yeah,
versus
US
Sam?
agent.
Yeah, so I'm curious to know how's that gonna go.
Personally, I hope it's like a head-to-head, face-to-face. Like he mans up and takes the shield from him, like asserts
I hope that.
his force and dominance, and like steps into that role forcefully. That's what I prefer. I hope it's not some shit like Captain USA is Agent USA is caught like lacking, and or the shield ends up in some facility or they steal it on the side. Like I don't want any like kind of like sidestepping routes about it. I hope that he mans up like 1-to-1, and he's moving how the government moves, where we're doing it for justice, but it's really all crooked and dark, and they man up and do the right thing as the vigilante and snatch the shield back, like take it back and take the symbol for what it is. That's what I
Yeah.
personally want
I'm
to see.
more than likely. I'm thinking that Agent Justice or whatever the fuck y'all call him
US agent, yeah.
is gonna end up being an op and be exposed as an op, and then it'll justify the shield getting taken back.
Yeah. I'm with Chief, right? Like,
Yep.
they didn't want a black dude to be the symbol of America. And that's something that Kevin Feige and Anthony Mackie talked about in interviews, where that was going to be something that they really lean into on this show.
I'm very happy
That
about that.
that the government simply didn't want a black symbol, and they wanted another white boy with blonde hair, blue eyes to be the new symbol of America. And US Agent was a part of the Weapon Plus program, which is yet another program that tried to make a new version of the super soldier serum, right?
Everybody.
And he is going to be a somewhat successful version of that. And we also get that with the flag smashers, the guys with the mask with the hand on the mask, right? So let's talk about them. So in the world of the MCU, the Flag Smashers believe that the world was better during the blip, where everyone was kind of more together and unified. And now that everyone's back to being fucking assholes. It's like, so what do you guys think about the Flag Smashers, and do you think they'll have like a big impact on the show?
I hope they have a huge impact on the show. Sensei pitched the concept to me earlier when we was talking that, and correct me if I say this wrong, that the guy that beat the fuck out the police officer could possibly be Agent USA.
I think that they're gonna go that route.
Yeah, he threw that one at me earlier, and I was like, oh yeah, I didn't even look at it that way. I looked at it more like either it's gonna be something totally off the wall or some bullshit, like it's Red Skull that's did some plan to infiltrate the government as Captain America, or it's some secondary program that is like off the list, some black shit, and maybe the guy from the Flag Smashers is also part of that program, and we're just seeing like kind of like that thing branch out. So I like that idea from Sensei. The Flag Smashers is another thing I think comes from the blip, and I think it fits perfectly with the story of Bucky and with Falcon of like recapturing what was and learning how to come to terms with the present, like learning how to let go of the past and like come to terms with the present to like move in a better direction. And so the Flag Stuffers are just another group that shows that people are really holding on to the past and don't know how to let that go. Um, and so it's going to cause conflict as always. I also like how Falcon is the one that drops the line that whenever something goes really well for a group, there's another group that it went really bad.
I was literally finna say that shit, bro.
I love that.
That line was so fucking fire because it just speaks to everything that's happening right now. Like, even though we won, it's still a whole bunch of niggas that's gonna feel like, nah, it was better when you niggas lost.
It was better this way, and I think that's just like the human nature. Like, we try to act like the great divide is black versus white, or it's the have versus the have nots, but there's always two sides to every story, and no matter how you look at it, whether it's men versus women or adults versus children, you know, baby boomers versus Generation Z, there's always like those competing sides, and they have different ideals and views on what makes it great. I love that Marvel does a good job of tying it to their stories, because that is what human nature is. The cost of all of us having individuality is also us struggling to like work together. So I'm really interested to see where they go with the Flag Staffers. I like that whole concept and how they brought it in, and I think it's going to fit great within this story.
Yeah, I mean, it's way better than the comics. I mean, Flag Smasher was one dude in the comics, and now they turned it into a liberation group, if you want to call it that. Like, I don't believe in what they're doing, but they sure do. So I really want to see like how they play into what Falcon and Winter Soldier are doing. I want to see if Zemo even has like any correlation with these people. So Zemo was one of the names on Bucky's list of things that he needs to make amends of. Like, what do you think that even means? Like, do you think that he aims to stop Zemo, or like,
I think Zemo's
like what do you
still
think?
around, or the Zemo agenda is still around. While we talking about Bucky's list, Vash brought it up earlier that Torahima, and I think that was his name. Torahima is at the top of his list, but like it's probably gonna be the last person he gets to. I feel like Bucky wrote the list out in the order of people that affect him the most. Like, he's having nightmares about this kid, and that's why it's at the top of his list. But he probably wrote that list out in the order of people that affects him the most. So I expect him to work backwards through the list. I do believe that the Zemo agenda is still out there at the very least, if not actual like Zemo himself. And I want to see what that storyline develops too. Probably something to do. It could have something to do with the Flag Staffers, because they have that element of technology built into what they do now. Like, they've already taken advantage of apps, and they're using augmented reality with these tags that are all around the city. Like, they're very deeply invested. So whoever's doing this stuff has a very strong understanding of technology and how it can be used. And so I could definitely see a modern day Zemo being at the head of that.
Yeah, Vash?
With Zemo, I'm curious to know how Buck is going to handle that. Like, what is it that he's trying to redeem himself within the 3 rules of what the therapist told him about? Like,
love how I'm drinking liquor and y'all drinking water. Fuck y'all. Go ahead, though.
I actually don't have any liquor in the house, bro. Well, I got one bottle of wine, but it's the anniversary bottle, so I can't pop that shit.
This nigga JB. Oh yeah, I've been.
I gotta stay hydrated, man.
Same here as well. I get my 2 water bottles. I'm about to be done. But about Zemo, I'm really curious to know how's that gonna be with Bucky. Like, where is the story and how's it gonna connect? Like, it's like what GB said. Is it gonna connect to the Flag Smashers? And how's Falcon gonna be involving with Bucky? With Zemo, is he gonna be connecting with Sam because of what happened with Tony's parents and everything? So is Bucky gonna be like, hey, I need some help for some closure? So I'm really curious to know how's that gonna be connecting the dots with that storyline with Zemo.
Yeah, I'm excited to watch Bucky go down this. Go ahead, Sensei.
I was gonna say that's actually really interesting, because I didn't think of how he would make amends to Tony's family, if that makes sense. Like, am I gonna see pepper scenes? Like, is he gonna be taking his daughter to daycare you know what I mean? Like, how would you really do that? You know what I mean?
I think that's also a good lesson, that he just won't be able to make amends to everyone. And I mean, just from this episode, we see that he's doing it in the wrong way possible. Like, getting to know the Asian dude's dad and befriending him. Like Chris brought it up when we were texting before the show, but it's like he's talking to this older man because this is someone that he would relate to more than anyone else. But
He's
it's
the closest
also
one to his age in this
Because
whole
he's
show
100
right now.
Because he's 104, right? Or 109?
106, bro.
106.
106. He's the closest person in his age group, and he's
And
still
he said
younger
it
than
so
him. But
casual
they
too
relate.
on the date.
Yeah.
That shit
So
weird.
it's-
She definitely thought he was tweaking too. What?
Yeah. He said, "Hey, and by the way, how old are you?" I'm like,
You're
I'm
so funny.
106.
You play all day. You play all day. He's
I'm
Literally.
like,
I'm
I'm
serious.
like, nah, I'm 106 years old. Like, the fuck you talking about?
Yeah, so it's like it's that, and then like you're going about it the wrong way, dude. Like befriending his dad is only going to make things worse for you mentally, I think. Like I think I don't even know. Like I'm not a like a psychologist. Like I'm not sure like what would be the best course of action, but I don't think him befriending the dad of this person that he killed is the right course of action, because it's going to come up constantly and he has to relive that trauma every time he sees him and in his nightmares. So I don't think it was the best course. Like what do you guys think?
It's gonna get worse for him. He already like you're
Real
already
quick,
haunted.
because I might have missed this when I was watching it, because I have a dog and he terrorizes me. The person he killed was in his dream was the dude who was like, I didn't see anything. That
Yeah.
person, right?
Yeah,
Cool.
correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
I caught
Yeah,
that. I
yeah.
caught that. Okay.
Yeah, so I think it's gonna terrorize him even more because like you already had this traumatic experience with this guy and you had no relation to any part of him. So like you should have just walked in and ripped the band-aid off, but he probably like had an interaction with this guy
I couldn't do
and
that.
something in the beginning of that interaction like triggered him to build a friendship. And now he's built a friendship with probably one of the only people in the world he can relate to who's like closer in his age. I don't know how old this guy is, but he presents as quite old. So he's built this friendship with this guy. It's just going to get harder and harder. So I don't know how he's going to tackle that.
That's the thing. How
But
does
like
the government? My bad. Go ahead, GB.
But like you said, JB, he's going about it all the wrong ways. But I like that aspect of his therapy because normally the main thing is you have to put in the work, right? So normally people don't have the resources and abilities that a Bucky Barnes has. Like you in therapy and you choosing not to do the work is just like, yeah, instead of going to do that, I just went home and went to sleep. But for Bucky, him choosing not to do the work is like, yeah, I followed all your rules. Didn't really follow all the rules. Like, yeah, I put a bug and like did all this other stuff and set her up. And so he made amends to what he considers amends, but he didn't really heal himself in that situation. He just did more of what he was used to doing. And he wiped the slate or kind of made things even, but that didn't heal him for what it was he did. Like he didn't solve the problem. So it's nice to see that he's still deeply struggling with like letting go of his past behaviors while he tries to do the work, but he's on some type of path. But
Who
to
came
the
up with
old guy,
Who
yeah,
came
he's
up
not
with
gonna-
that? Who came up with this like redemption task for him? His therapist or the
His
government?
therapist. The therapist is like working with him, and so like one of her things was like,
I know, but
was-
the government also has rules, so that's why I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's
Correct.
his
government
therapy
as
is
well.
government mandated. Yeah.
it's
Correct.
mandated. He has to
It
go to
is-
therapy.
It's been the government said that.
but he doesn't have to make amends to these motherfuckers.
This is the therapist's recommendation to him.
Correct.
It's like the healing process. Is to
It's been the
make
government said
amends.
that he's a civilian now, so he needs to prove that he's not a danger to society.
Yeah,
So,
that's the only
and
thing that the
therapist-
government cares about.
Yes, that he doesn't cause any more trouble or any more havoc. So, but the therapist said like you need to make amends for your nightmares and everything that you're having, and those nightmares are probably caused by trauma, things that he regrets from doing. So that's why probably he's doing this type of amends.
But that's so crazy. I mean, it makes sense because I guess
She gave him
Hydra.
rules to try to prevent that. Like you can't do
Hydra
anything
was-
illegal. You can't kill people. And I forgot the third rule was, but it's funny to see that Bucky is the Winter Soldier, a man who is very used to working outside of the rules and outside of time itself. So to think that he would abide by the 3 rules that you set, no matter
That's
how
what I'm saying. Like,
infallible
it's
you
so
think they are.
crazy because,
It's
like,
funny.
obviously, Hydra was in control of all of the shit that he was doing, and Hydra was exposed as being like a part of the government that was super corrupt and yada yada yada. And now they gone, so presumably the non-corrupt government is in place now. But it's like, if everything I was doing was off the books, how do I even, you know what I mean? Like all of these people that I'm addressing that I may have hurt one of their family members or what have you, they don't even know what the fuck happened. So like when GB said, you know, he probably should have came in and just ripped the Band-Aid off. Like there's absolutely no way to do that. Because if I hear that my mom or my sister or whoever dies in a car crash and then some niggas knocks on my door, no, well actually I shot your mom in the head and then put her in the car and made it go off a cliff. It's like, what? You know what I mean? Like there's
in this guy's
absolutely
case, he literally
no way.
doesn't know. Like he knows his son was murdered at the hotel against the door. So he doesn't know who the murderer. He's had no closure. So this case is a little bit different than that.
But you get what I'm saying?
I get exactly what you're saying. Like, how do you make amends? Because these people they've had a whole life where something else was the case.
Some of the shit could have been closure. Like Tony's closure, where he felt like I didn't really. The last conversation I had with my parents wasn't the best, but they died in a car crash. So it's like, what could I have done? So there wasn't really much closure needed. But then he found out, no, they didn't die in a car crash.
They were assassinated.
Killed. Right, they were killed by so and so by hand. You know what I mean? Like,
I will say, right, I need to see more of the list and I need to see more episodes, but based on the names of the people that were on the first page of that list, there are a bunch of Hydra agents and like other villains and other people that were put into place by Hydra. So him making amends with this group of people is him trying to remove these evil people from within like the branches of government that he put them in. So I do need to see more footage to see like more of those innocent families,
because the
and
first
see how he's going to pay amends to those people.
Were like Hydra people, right?
Yeah, those were Hydra, old Hydra agents.
Can I add one more thing?
Of course.
We don't know that the therapist knows exactly who is on this list. All we know is that the therapist has told him to make amends and that this is his work to do. So whatever convoluted Batman, Bruce Wayne sense of justice he has right now, he's gone out and made this list of amends that he thinks is going to heal himself. And he's put these Hydra agents up. And maybe if I go and right my wrongs and like remove these people from office and remove these people from power, then I too will be absolved of all the crimes and the bad deeds that I did. So we don't know that he's thinking in the right mind or where the therapist has led him. We just know that she told him that he has to heal and make amends. And this is what he's chosen to do, to make those amends. These are the people that he handpicked. But the therapist might be thinking that he's going to the Avengers being like, yo, like, I'm sorry for the trouble I gave y'all in the war. Or
you having a second therapy session with the Avengers?
Yeah, she might think that he's having totally different interactions with different people. And until he reveals to her, like he revealed who the senator was on the list today. It's like, yeah, I did X, Y, and Z, but she don't have the whole gist of what's happening on his list or what he's doing unless he tells her.
Yeah, man.
I am very excited. This series looked like it's going to be very fun. Out the gate, I enjoyed this first episode more than I enjoyed the first episode of WandaVision.
Which makes sense. But also I want to talk about the bank scene with Sam.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that too.
With Sam and his sister, and with the banker saying like, "Hey,"
that shit was fucking hilarious.
Where Sam was getting mad, where the banker's like, "Hey, you guys are not approved, but can I still take a picture of you?"
Literally,
and
bro,
also,
the nigga said,
and also, can your arms pop out too? So
wait,
like,
dude,
dude,
are you fucking kidding me?
Dude, you serious? I was
Bro.
looking for Sam to like smack the dude.
First of all, Sam trash as fuck for that. He was like, "Wait, bro, did you like play for the Falcon?" He's like, "Do you know me from somewhere?"
Bro, because he was setting it up. Even before he looked at him, Sam was sitting over there trying to
literally, bro. I'm
give
like,
him the profile shots.
This nigga Sam is so fucking.
He's like, "Hey, I'm trying to get that plug. I'm an Avenger. Give me the plug."
I'm like,
to me, this is greater symbolism of just how the government and all of these things that are in place do not take care of our soldiers. They do not take care of the people that actually put in the work to make lives easier for everyone else. How can I have any type of payment history if I was literally not in existence for the last 5 years? There should be a program to help these people. Like, that made me think, all of these people that lost their jobs, their homes in the blip,
and
when
their
they
savings.
come back, it's going to be impossible for them to get a loan to get their homes back. Like, the government has to do better for these people. Like, that shit really pissed me off, bro.
Yeah. And plus, what sucks is that if Sam was gone, if Sam was blip, at least the government should have protected the sister or the family or a sister, with what's going on. But the government did nothing. And when Sam told the banker, like, hey, I have government contracts, as you see, I make the money. Like, just give us some time. And they said, like, hey, we know your family has been here with us for generations, but I can't approve you. The sister was not having. I love the actress. Girl did a fantastic job showing the emotions, showing the frustration, showing her mood about this whole situation. And the chemistry with both of them is amazing. Like, it shows that brother sister type of bond, but shows them that the whole sister does not approve that he went to the Air Force and everything. Like, it shows the nice chemistry with this one episode. I love the chemistry already, and I can't wait to see them grow and everything.
Love
I
the
was
sister.
gonna echo everything you said. Like, sometimes people do a really bad job with black casting, but I think they did really good in this series. Like, you see the brother sister chemistry between them, and it's evident. Like, when they're arguing on that boat, and he's kind of like, he knows he's pushing her buttons, but he's still pushing it in a joking way, and she's like, I'm sick of this nigga. But like,
even after the bank sequence, the bank sequence was like, bro, I own half that boat and the crib, so
what you gonna do?
You got to fucking deal with me.
The other thing about Falcon is like, JB, you talked about like the soldiers and everyone that did the work. Like, I just hope it comes into play. Like, how are you gonna cope with the fact that like you Falcon, you part of the movement? Like, would none of y'all be here if not for me? Like, how, like, mentally that's got to mess with you. Like, after like
that's
episode 3,
literally a superhero thing, G. Like,
and he said it, and he said it beautifully that we do because of goodwill. 3. He said it that we do because of goodwill. Yes, we don't get paid for it, but we do it because of goodwill, and we hope that people could replicate that. And Sam said that beautifully.
That went right over Bank Teller head.
Head.
He was said, like, that'd be nice.
So I'm not gonna get fired because I gave your broke ass $300,000.
But I still want that picture though.
Imagine the Falcon on Twitter with a GoFundMe, like, yeah, man, just got back from outer space, bro.
Just got back from beating Thanos. I know half of you motherfuckers wasn't here, but y'all here now.
If y'all got anything, look out for me, man. I need a boat or whatever, man. My GoFundMe link is right here. I got a video where you can see what I'm talking about. We making hot plates on Saturday and Sunday. Pull up and get you a plate
with the shrimp.
Hot water cornbread, like.
To Nova's point, right? Sam even brought up, look, you can see I have government contracts. You can see that I have a stable stream of income. You can give me the loan and I can pay it. What is the big deal? They just don't want to take care of these people. Like, it's so fucked up.
And I love how well it was played out, like showing that the sisters to say like they don't want to help us, like saying like them black people, like of what she was implying. Like to the bank and like they don't want to help us, and to me it was beautifully handled. It did not feel forced. It was well written and it was well directed for that scene too. Those two actors did an amazing job for that scene as well.
Absolutely. Yeah, John, I definitely think that we're going to see like Felicia Hardy do like full Black Cat with like her own version of the super soldier serum. The question is when that's going to happen, because I have no idea.
Oh, Felicia Hardy was in this episode? That's his sister?
No.
I'm like, that wasn't his sister?
No. Because John is just bringing up just like the super soldier program in general. Because all over the world, they're trying to create their own versions of the serum.
Yep.
And that's how like Black Cat gets her powers and everything.
But if this, so wait.
And because they have with
Jessica
the last Jones.
Spider-Man movie, how y'all think they're going to do that?
Oh, this is not definitely the last Spider-Man film. They have, trust me.
You feel like they're going to do more?
Oh, yeah.
It's going to make money. They're going to be like, oh, just making more money.
The IP makes too much money.
I'm saying the last MCU Spider-Man film.
Oh, no, it's not. Trust me. There's going to be more.
You don't think that? You think they're going to work something out with Sony?
Deal out. Money talk, bro.
Oh, no, bro. Sony be trying to get their money, too.
Yeah, but they... So they made a new deal with Marvel Studios, right? So it's an interconnected universe.
Not for more.
It's for the rest of the movie. So it's technically all connected, but Sony has all the distribution rights and like they have final say. Yeah, they have final say on like creativity and stuff. But Kevin Feige has a lot of input too. So the new deal works really well. So we're definitely going to get more Spider-Man movies because he's going to be.
Because I feel like the last one, their issue was that Kevin Feige felt like he didn't have the bandwidth to do, like they wanted him to do their movies too, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, bro, I can't do y'all shit and this shit.
Yeah,
and they was like, "I will fuck that." So now it's like we'll pick and choose what movies we want to do with you, type shit.
Now what I
So
got from it is now he's in more of a total overseer position, and so like he's very hands on when it comes to like what integrates with the MCU. And then Sony still owns all the rights, so Sony is going to big pub, and anything they do, like they're going to consult. So you won't have situations like with Justice League and Aquaman, where like one's using air bubbles and the other's not. Like they're going to have some sense of continuity between the two universes, or however they set.
But
that
he's
up.
not gonna oversee Mephisto.
He doesn't have to be hands on and like direct everything.
Okay.
And
yeah,
do
like
everything
Venom
by himself.
2, Kevin Feige doesn't have anything to do with that. Like that's straight up Sony. Like so anything, only the things that are interconnected with the MCU, like he has like some creative control over. Yeah,
so
but
are they not gonna integrate the Venom shit into Spidey?
Oh, they are.
yeah, eventually, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I want to get you guys like final
right on.
thoughts on Falcon and Winter Soldier before we head out for the night. Sensei, I want to start with you.
That shit was fucking lit. I love how personal that shit got. I like I said, I went into this with the goal, if y'all can make me fuck with Falcon even a little bit, like because he was really just one of those blah whatever nigga characters for me. If y'all can make me like him even a little bit, if y'all can make me, give a fuck about his story, give a fuck about him, make him a likable character for me, y'all won. They did that shit in the first episode for me. Like he was 80% less trash to me, or less whatever the fuck to me in this first episode than he's been in the entirety of his MCU appearances. Like just him interacting with his sister and nieces was more of what I needed to see from him than I've ever seen. Like, you know what I'm saying? His opening sequence was the best action we've seen from him since he's been in MCU.
Facts.
So I 1000% fuck with it. I'm very excited to see what the rest of Bucky's story is going to be. I want to see how they're interwoven. I want to see how they connect, but they have won me over with making me fuck with Falcon in this first episode. So yeah, and it's a lot of like, you know what I'm saying, hearing you guys talk through it, it's a whole lot of fucking issues that need to be addressed that I didn't even think about. And it feels like it's a Captain America movie. Like the Captain America movies have always been rooted in this world is fucked up. Like this is a fucked up world. This is a fucked up system, and I'm trying to fix it. Like literally every single one. Like his first movie was the army is on some bullshit. Not like I go through this program, but y'all got me as the face, but I don't really get to do shit because y'all think I'm trash.
Right.
So y'all are trash. The second movie is fucking Hydra runs Shield, so everything I thought was good is not good. So I need to overthrow Shield / Hydra. And the third movie was the fucking Sokovia Accords, which is literally the government after Hydra saying I can't even be what I am. You know what I mean? Like without them saying yes or no. So, and I feel like this is gonna follow suit with that same trend of the government is fucked up. This shit is not right. We need to, fight this in some way. So I think, and with that in mind, I think it's going to have a whole lot of crazy ass implications towards future movies, past Widow, of course.
Let's go.
Vash, I want to toss it to you.
Overall, like I told James back in the beginning of the month of January, was curious to know of Falcon and the Winter Soldier and how it's gonna continue the story of Sam and Bucky. The characters in the comics are so different from the movies, and how in the movies, like WandaVision, were very underutilized, where we couldn't appreciate them as characters itself, where we only appreciate Captain America, Iron Man, and everything. Now we actually have WandaVision that we both care about them a lot more. Sam and Bucky. Knowing from the first episode, I care about Sam. I care about her sister. I'm his sister a lot more. Where we actually know that he has nieces and nephews and everything. And knowing that they have money problems, just like regular humans out here, we are about to get stimmy, and people just be spending like no tomorrow. And there's memes out there, so it's just very hilarious. and we got Bucky go to therapy, which is something very normal for a lot of people to. So I love this first episode, and I'm very excited to know what the next 5 episodes are in store. I can't wait for the action sequence. Can't wait to see how Falcon Sam handles the shield as well. Very excited to see all that intertwined within each other, and for the grander scale of the MCU, and how does it connect with the other films in the future.
Yeah.
Beckford.
GB?
Like Sensei, this is 100% feels like a Captain America movie. I love that how they told the character stories and how they present them. Falcon is 100% the ideals of Captain America without the perspective, and Bucky is the perspective of Captain America without the ideals. And I love that mix of them. I love how it blends together and how they show how well they match. Their stories are going to match up. I'm really excited for the fight scenes. I love the whole first episode of it. I want to see how everything plays out with the government, with both of them adjusting back to the world they've been thrown back into. And then also how do they take what's been given to them, conquer that world, and step out of that on top. So I really had no real flaws, no negatives about this episode, which is surprising as fuck because I didn't think I was gonna like it this much. But yeah, like they knocked this one out the park.
I can't wait to see Winter Soldier catch bullets with his metal hand.
It's gonna be sick.
That
man.
scene when he did that shit in Civil War, that shit was so fucking lit to me. Like they were shooting them shotguns. He smack. Damn, this nigga is catching bullets. He just catching them shits.
I just came for the new fits.
I love seeing that. I want to see them like. I hope this feels like John Wick, Captain America, like 24. I want to see them like nonstop. Just like how we gonna deal with all this? Just shit keep coming. We just perennially down bad right now, and we just got to keep adjusting and trying to go with the times. And I want this to be two men that are like behind, trying to fight just to break even, and like come to the present, break even.
Yeah, man. Like, just to echo everything you guys said, like, this was such a great show, such a great opening to this show. Getting to know Sam and Bucky as people, you know what I mean? Because that's what they are. Like in comics, sometimes it's hard to see these beings as people because of all of their abilities and everything. But just getting to break down everything that they're about, because we're definitely going to get all of those amazing fight sequences. We will get a bunch of Falcon and Winter Soldier team up fight sequences that I can't wait for. I can't wait for a rematch between like Bucky and Zemo to see how Bucky's going to react to him. I can't wait to find out more about the Flag Smashers. Like, there's so much potential for where the show can go. I can't wait to watch those sequences with Sam training with the shield. That's going to be amazing, watching him just working out like how that shield works. Like, the show has a lot of potential.
Wait, what's Spider-Man saying? This thing defies all the laws of gravity, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That shit was funny. This
thing defies the laws of physics.
Physics, doesn't it? Go ahead, G.
You're good. But I can't wait for all of that stuff, man. Like this, like WandaVision, has so much potential to do great things for these characters, like you said, Sensei, that we didn't get much from in the movies. That one opening sequence with Falcon, again, like you said, is the best thing that we've seen from Falcon in the entire MCU. So this is the wave. This is the new wave that I want to consume MCU content. I want more of these TV shows. I'm so excited for Loki to see how
so lit.
How Loki's gonna interact with the Time Bureau, how the Time Bureau is gonna talk about Kang the Conqueror, and how that connects to Quantumanium, bro.
Like for the comedy.
Yeah, bro. Like the MCU is doing bids right now and they're killing it, man. So I want to thank you guys so much for joining me on this episode.
We appreciate it.
Sensei, let the people know where they can find you online.
GB.
It's on me. It's on you. It's on me. I'm gonna take it.
So you.
Thank y'all for having me on the show. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, this was my first non-anime podcast, and I had a blast. This first episode for me was just as great as the Falcon and Winter Soldier episode. So thank you for that. Once again, if anybody doesn't know, I am GB from the Worst Generation podcast, host and creator. We are the exploratory anime and manga podcast. You can find us at worstgenerationpodcast.com. You can find us on Twitter at worstgenpod. Check us out. Fuck with us if you're into anime and manga. We where it's at.
Yo, man, what's cracking, man? It's your boy Sensei Glove, the ball head black anime nerd, the ball barbarian, the ball blastoise, the ball bitch smacker, the ball ballroom dancer. Back in this bitch, Mr. Gloves Off, King Glove, first of his fucking name, long may he fucking reign. I've been drinking, as you niggas can see. I had a great fucking time. You guys can catch me on Instagram and Twitter at Sensei Glove. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to talk about a whole lot of anime and get a whole lot of niggatry from a real nigga that fucks with anime right here. Also, shout out to Worst Gen Podcast, and I am part of the Worst Gen Podcast. If you like the merch that we providing, I'm providing, and he got a backdrop of, go ahead, cop that shit. Go to our website at worstgenerationpodcast.com because we are those niggas. And if you thought it was other niggas, nah, it's us. We those niggas. So I fuck with y'all. Fuck with you, JB. Fuck with you, Vash. I appreciate y'all for having us on, bro. Y'all them niggas, man.
Vash?
As one of the hosts here, we appreciate you guys for being here, and we appreciate for the chat being here, and for the people watching the VOD later. Like, comment, subscribe, and follow me at Legendary Vash, Twitter, IG, and everywhere else. And also, if you have not joined the C4S Discord, join that, because that's where we will do watch parties. That's where I will be watching Falcon and the Winter Soldier every Friday mornings before we go live that Friday night. And Superman Lois, if I'm home that Wednesday, we will be watching there on the Discord. We will promote that, and definitely join the Anime League Discord for anime and manga readings and watches. Definitely check that out, and see you guys on Sundays for my hair discussion, because I keep hearing it's going to be a huge chapter. Me and James are hugely excited because we saw that one panel. So if you are manga readers, definitely check out our Anime League content as well. James,
Like the stream.
Liketh the streameth, niggas.
Yes, you guys know you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at JB Exclusive. You can also find our other Twitter account at C4 Spoilers, where we will be giving you guys updates on all of the future guests that we have, updates on when we're going to be doing different shows, reaction videos, movie reviews, because Vash and I still need to review Coming to America. So
and
that's
many more
gonna be
stuff.
dope. And many more things. Make sure that you guys please subscribe to the Worst Generation podcast. These guys do amazing work, which is why I had to get them on the show to talk comics and everything. I love listening to GB talk about this kind of stuff. I love listening to Sensei talk about this kind of shit. So it's going to be lit having them back on future episodes. I want to get you guys back for like episode 5. I think that would be amazing.
1000%.
And then whatever else happens in the future. But thank you guys in chat.
You got
so much
somebody for
being
episode
here.
6? Can we do episode
Hey,
6?
yeah, let me hop on with
We can do
Knox.
the Alpha
I know
Omega.
you're gonna pull Knox nugget head ass in this motherfucker.
Yeah,
But you know,
I
Sensei
got
better than Knox.
Let me get Knox in this bitch. Let me get Knox.
Yeah, I already got well, I'm trying to get Knox. I'm trying to get my boy Chris to come on the finale, but we can have like a huge panel. I don't care. I think that would be dope.
I'm with that.
Yeah. But make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on those post notifications so you're notified of new videos, and we will see you guys on the next one.
Bye, niggas.
We out.